So here we go, the track reveal for the week. Few of you guessed it. Few of you got it right. To Belgium for Spa-Francorchamps. Oh, is that rain? It looks like we have rain, ladies and gentlemen. So 20 minutes practice begins now, so get used to the ins and outs of the track and the conditions. Will we have Old Man Stu out on track first? We do not. Not far behind. Scotty Ray out on track first, followed by Old Man Stu. Scotty Ray out on the full wets. Old Man Stu and Mihai trying out the intermediates as well as Apache. Iron Max, after his excellent debut last week in the FTWRC, coming out on the full wet tyres now to test out. With his nice new livery there as well, Stappen.com. Full wets for Grandster it is as well. So it looks like lots of rain for the sprint race. Will we see the same for the main race? Will it clear up? Will it not? Who knows? So a long awaited, one of the most famous tracks in the world is Spa. 7 kilometers, 4.3 miles long, 19 corners with over 100 meters of elevation change between the highest and lowest points, making it one of the most physically demanding tracks on the calendar, but a favorite of many. As you see, Scotty Ray first out, halfway around the track now. Weather seems just as bad on that side as it is this. It is a track often you find the rain can fall on one end of the track and not be falling on the other, so there is a lot of scope for changeable conditions within the races at Spa. We've seen in the previous season an excellent race and a few great battles round the corners of Spa, which coincidentally is a town that's a few miles away from the track, actually, just named after Spa because of its public attractions, tourism and luscious abundance of natural spring water spas. So there you go. So let's ride on board now with Scotty Ray as he comes around the final chicane. The bus stop chicane was called a bus stop chicane because it did actually used to follow the shape of a bus stop chicane. It was actually changed in one of the more recent layout changes. It still gets called the bus stop because everyone knows what it is. So here we'll go for his first flying lap on the wet tyres on practice. As you can see, windscreen wipers doing double time. At the minute we've got the New Zealander sitting second on the table after missing the first race on 131 points at the moment, second only to Apache, who currently sitting at the top of the table with 155 points. With Gren's now 1 place behind Scotty Ray, 1 point behind Scotty Ray, so it's all to play for here. Strategy's going to play a big part in tonight's race. With the weather being the way that it is, it's not just a case of all out skill on track. As we look further through, the battle continues to rage between Old Man Stu and Mia Skinner. 5 points is the difference between those two. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of battle in between them. I know this is one of Old Man Stu's favourite tracks and does very well around Spa, so it'll be interesting to see if Mia can hold the pace that he shows here, which he shows has got that in her arsenal so far this season for every other track. And as well, obviously, as well as we look back through here, we'll sit on board just behind Apache with Iron Max. Iron Max making his debut in the league just last week and is now only 6 points behind Eddie Carflap. Eddie Carflap in 11th, Iron Max in 12th, which shows just how good he did last week to gain all of those points just in 1 week. Eddie Carflap has had a very consistent season, has been doing particularly well. But as has Chicken Yoga, only 1 place and 1 point ahead of Eddie Catflap. So again, Chicken Yoga and Eddie Catflap, expect to see some fireworks between those two tonight, because they are battling for position with each and every corner. Scotty Ray just going a little bit deep into the bus stop there on the final sector of the track, as it looks like the rain is starting to ease up a little bit in practice now. Back to the pits he goes, but then we have Apache now off a second penalty, just letting Iron Max through there a little bit late on the brakes, going into the bus stop. Both of them struggling to get the power down, but Iron Max on the wet tyres, Apache on the intermediates, and Iron Max puts in the fastest lap so far on those wet tyres. And as we see them come down, the three of them together here, we've got Scotty Ray, Iron Max, and Apache, the TWC drivers, as they go through Eau Rouge, one after the other. What a scene that is. And again, expect to see fireworks at the top from these guys as well. They will be very closely followed by Grenster, who will be in the mix, looking to spoil the party for the TWC guys. And he's always got that in his arsenal. A track like this, with weather conditions like this, does play into the hands of Grenster, an absolute tactician. His strategies are with surgical precision with his pit stops, the way he maintains his tyres. So it's going to be really exciting to see the way this one plays out. And it's not often in a sprint race strategy plays a big part, but I think strategy is going to be playing a part in this sprint race on the changeable conditions, as Capitan Jinx then puts himself second fastest. As I say that, Grenster with the fastest lap so far. As we look back, there's Eddie Catflap rocking his new livery there, bright orange. The Timu Rory livery as he goes around. He's on the full wet tyres, currently third fastest man on the track at the moment. Chicken Yoga as well, testing out the full wet tyres as the track seems to just slowly start to be drying up as the drivers go around. Then halfway through practice, I'm sure we'll see a dry line starting to develop quite soon. As we see in the background there, a debutant of the week just behind Chicken Yoga is Rhodesy, so he's going to be coming down to his first race in the FTWRC, competes in several other leagues within the community. Races with the likes of Mia Skinner and Old Man Stew in other leagues as well, so a driver of the same ilk, the same quality, and what we always strive for, the same clean fairness. Now, as I say, Grandpa Gary just coming around, no name, edging down, going to be coming now towards Bouillon. Tricky corner, especially in the dry, let alone in the wet. Taking a lot of curbs, he goes around, making the most of the track. And then as we look back, focus now on Rhodesy as he goes flying through with his pink, representing Wales. And he sets up now, he's on the intermediate tyres. They do start to look like they started to degrade a little bit now, the intermediate, so it'll be interesting to see the drivers on the wet tyres, if there is any. And now Iron Max, now that's bold. Iron Max has actually come out testing the soft tyres. Has the track developed enough for the soft tyres to be usable at this point in practice. It's a very interesting turn of events. And he has done this whole lap on these tyres, and he's closing very quickly on Grandpa Gary as it stands. Coming into the bus stop, he is looking down the inside, and where he's finding the grip on these soft tyres, I do not know, but what a lap this is going to be for an out lap. And if this is setting up a flying lap, I can expect to see Iron Max absolutely smashing the timing boards with this one. Old man Stu now putting in the fastest time so far of the practice session, and he's done that on softs as well. As he comes back out, where he says he's on softs, he has the fastest by 0.8. He's currently on an out lap. That must have just changed as he's come out. But looking at Iron Max, he is still looking like he's going to... There is degradation on his tyres quite a bit so far, so there is still quite clearly a line starting to develop of dry, and he's navigating the track unbelievably well here. And that's 3 seconds, nearly 3 seconds up on the best time on that sector. So this looks like it could be an unbelievable call for Iron Max here. A great test. And as you see there, one side of the track is still in the rain, but as he drives out of that rain and comes down towards this later section of the track, the rain isn't falling here. So it's a very tricky track when the conditions change. Whether or not it's worth coming in to change or staying out, one side of the track would suggest different to the other. But now, as Iron Max comes across the line, and he's just lost the back end, and that was going to be at least 5 seconds off the fastest time as he spins just coming out of the bus stop. Did very well to keep it together for as long as he did. As we see Grandpa Gary and Apache then coming round, so that's a 2 minutes 30 for Iron Max, still his best time, even with that spin at the end. But it just goes to show that the conditions are changing and adaptation. And he's won again. He's done it again now. I think he's just doing it for fun. Pirouettes on the track as Grandpa Gary comes around, holding it together. But now it does look like the rain is falling again, especially on this side of the track where we're looking where Old Man Stu is now. Those tyres looked great for a lap or two, but now they have fallen again, and it looks like it's almost time for full wets, let alone intermediates. Looking at the moisture meter in the corner. Yeah, looking through now the drivers that have come in, put the softs on, really struggling to stay on the track now. Eddie Cartflab just put those soft tyres on as well. Great timing, Eddie, that's fantastic. And I would imagine he's going to be driving that car the same way that certain people have been on us. Capital Jinx completely backwards on track there. We have carnage. Luckily, just practice, so many people will be taking notes and bearing in mind what the weather could be like. Is it going to be this changeable during the sprint race? What's it going to be like in the main feature race altogether? It looks like we're going to have a lot of cars on a lot of different strategies. And then Eddie doing his own thing as usual. As we just see Eddie there just getting surrounded by and engulfed in a gaggle of cars as he rolls slowly towards the edge of the track. Now Grandpa Gary with his practice using his practice time very wisely, still on intermediate tyres, seeing how long they're going to last, not going in and out of the pits. So it's a full 15 minutes of testing for Gary here, not just going out and trying to set times and spinning around. He looks like he's actually taking notes. He's actually testing to see what the tyres, what the life he's got in them, how far he can push them, and so far doing a very consistent job of lapping the track at the minute, Grandpa Gary. So it's currently Old Man Stu still fastest out on track. He's on fresh softs now, so he's thinking that this weather's going to stay clear for the last 5 minutes. See if he can get in a good time. He is currently still top of the timing boards at the moment, and in second place, tied at the hip. Who would you expect to see? Anyone other than Mia Skinner? Less than a second behind on the timing boards. Mia herself nearly 3 seconds clear of the time of Capitan Jinx. As Mihai then just puts in a time of 2:28.6 as he comes out. His time's back up on the board now that he is out on his outlap. He's on the intermediates. But as you can see, if you look down at the meter at the bottom where it's the moisture, depending on what part of the track it is, that can jump up from absolutely soaking wet to bone dry in it. Click of the fingers. Oh, I'm excited. And Rhodesy, the newcomer so far, on the intermediate tyre, has just set the fastest time overall, 1.2 seconds faster than Old Man Stu with a 2 minutes 25.4 on the intermediate tyre as well. There are a few drivers now lapping on the soft tyre now that it seems that the rain has stopped on the track. Will be starting to develop, but that's an excellent time to be putting in practice, given the conditions and given the fact that this is the first time Rhodesy has actually driven with us as a group. So very well done to him. It'll be interesting to see how long that time stays at the top of the boards for. And not very long at all, because there's Grenster on the intermediates as well with a 2 minute 24.5 seconds. So that's nearly a second faster again than Rhodesy as he comes round. And then Iron Max as well, intermediate tyre, seem to be the tyre to be on at the moment, as he's just gone nearly half a second faster than Rhodesy, half a second slower than Grenster, putting himself second so far on the timing boards as a minute and a half left of practice is to come. So some time starting to come in now. Chaos Druid there. Druid putting a 2 minute 26.9. That's another good time. That's less than 2.5 seconds off the top time right now. Scotty Ray goes up into the third. So at the minute, it's Grenster, Iron Max, Scotty Ray at the top. 24.5 is the fastest for Grenster so far. Half a second between himself and Iron Max, who is less than a tenth faster than Scotty Ray as it stands at the moment. As we enter the last minute of practice. So as practice comes to a conclusion, I'll just give an extra minute just for those on a lap to finish the lap. But so far in practice, it's Grenster with the fastest lap overall so far, half a second faster than Iron Max. The fastest laps being set on intermediates. Despite it looking like for a brief stint that the softs were going to be the tyres to use, looks like that might not be the case, but we'll see what the weather is like and what the conditions are during the sprint race itself. Now, as you see, Eddie Cat lap just coming up towards the end of the lap now. And that is as good a time ever as to start qualifying. So ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for 5 minutes qualifying that precedes a 9-lap sprint race of Spa-Francorchamps in the rain. And it looks like Old Man Stu opted to stay in the pit lane a little bit longer than usual. Iron Max as he comes out the pit lane just behind Rhodesy. And we've got a lot of cars coming out onto the track at the same time here, so a lot of these cars are going to have to back off and make sure they're leaving enough space for the car in front. It is on the driver behind to leave themselves enough space to start the lap. And there is a lot of cars very close to each other just coming up through Eau Rouge right now as I see. But it's Mia Skinner who's come out, and it's a great move from Mia Skinner, getting out of the pits early, getting right up in the front. A lot of space for Mia now to just settle in, get this out lap sorted, get her tyres in the window and get a solid lap in. And then next on track, Scotty Ray, plenty space ahead, plenty space behind for himself there. But as we can see in this central section, in this middle sector now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers within a corner of each other. So this is only going to spell disaster, especially in these conditions, as Eddie Catflap creeps up behind the gaggle, just waiting. Scooby dropping off there as well, knowing that he doesn't want to compromise his own run by getting in the way of others, giving himself that space, so he's not going to be right up on the tail of somebody else, hoping to move out of the way. Capitan, Jinx, Chicken Yoga, the same, giving themselves plenty space. Oh, and just as we flick back, it looks like Damo's had a spin as he's going around the hairpin, just towards No Name. I'd imagine going off the track and coming back on like this, there wouldn't be a penalty given by a PD, but I wouldn't be surprised because we all know what they're like. But looking at it, it looks like Damo's actually come out on the medium tyre, which is, now I'm looking down, that is potentially the reason. It is the reason, unfortunately, Damo on the medium tyre. That's an Eddie Catflap move, that. So now Mia Skinner coming around the bus stop, coming around the final corner to start the first flying lap of the sprint session so far. And then it would be Scotty Ray to start his lap next. Then Iron Max, who has a half a second penalty that he's going to have to serve on this lap. Very close now between Rhodesy, Old Man Stu, Iron Max. There is very little gap whatsoever between the few. So it's going to be very difficult. The drivers behind are just going to have to be patient because you can't be making attacking moves on other drivers in qualifying. So if you haven't left yourself enough space, then you haven't left yourself enough space. Now, as we see, Eddie Catflap, half a second penalty as he comes down towards Eau Rouge. in these situations, coming through a fast corner like that, it's always beneficial to have those extra few pounds, as Eddie does, just to keep the car planted that little bit more than everyone else. So I'm sure that'll come in handy until it comes to the end of the race, then it may not. But he has done very well so far this season, Eddie, so hopefully that good form continues this evening. I will see Apache now as he comes through onto the Kemmel Straight on his flying lap. He's on the intermediate tyres. Greenster on out lap on the full wets now, just right at the end, really trying to get some heat into those tyres, really trying to get them ready, just as he comes around the final bus that wants to get the best exit out of this final corner. As you see him go very wide to get the power down, and away he goes for his flying lap. And we want to see big things. He's the only driver on track on full wets, I do believe, at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see just how much he can make these work. But then looking back forward to the front of the pack, we have Mia Skinner out in the front of the pack as she comes round now, heading down towards Blanchimont. Looking like a good time so far. Scotty Ray, as you can see just in the background, looks like he may have closed a little bit of a gap there. So Scotty Ray may be on a good time at the moment, but Mia Skinner holding her own, and it looks like this could be a very competitive time. Coming round now, heading towards the bus stop, down Blanchimont, using every inch of the track, as does Scotty Ray behind, really pushing the cars to the limits here. So this is going to be now, coming up to it, Scotty Ray has pushed it right behind as they come into the chicane here. So it's all about the exit and not spinning as they come round this final corner. So we have Mia Skinner to cross the line first. A time of 1 with a 2:29, a 2:23, a 2:36, sorry, from Scotty Ray. Old Man Stew goes to the top of the pack with a 2:35.6. So far, Old Man Stew on provisional pole, followed by Scotty Ray, Iron Max, and Eddie Catflap on the second row with Scooby. Scooby goes, oh, then Capitan Jigs puts himself on provisional pole position. Only, well, just over half a second faster than Old Man Stew. What a time that is. So the time to beat so far has been obliterated by Apache. 5 seconds ahead of second place is Apache on provisional pole with a 2 minutes 29.9. That is sensational by Apache to be able to put that much distance between himself and second place. And when you look from second down to 8th, there is just a few seconds between them all, but then between second and first is 5 whole seconds. Wow, that is a way to stamp your authority of a race and to remind people that you are the championship leader and you intend to stay there. 5 seconds. That is unbelievable. Well, what a sprint race we have. Oh, Grenster's gone faster! Grenster's gone faster! Grenster's took half a second off that. And Grenster, on the full wet tyre, has done a 2 minutes 29.4, putting himself nearly half a second ahead of Apache on the front row. So it's a Grenster Apache front row. We've seen it many times before, but what a lap that must have been from Grenster there. When I thought qualifying was all said and done, and all the drivers, and then there was Grenster right at the back on his full wet tyres to take half a second out of Apache's already tremendous time. Unbelievable start to the evening. And this is one thing I always say when it comes to strategy, when it comes to tactics, when it comes to using your noggin. Grenster is always up at the top. He's always strategic. He's always got the ideas to make the moves. And that is just a demonstration of exactly what he is capable of. And what a qualifying session that is. Oh, my word. Grenster, pole position with a 2 minutes, 29.4. Followed by Apache on the front row, then Capitan Jinx and Old Man Stew on the second row of the grid. less than a second apart between those two. Then Scooby and Scotty Ray. Excellent time from Scooby there as well with 35.8. Unbelievable. Pippin, Scotty Ray to the position, so they both make out the third row. Iron Max, Chicken Yoga, the next down the pack. Then we have Eddie Catflap, Mia Skinner, starting side by side. Rhodesy, Druid, Grandpa Gary, and Damo and Mihai all not set the time. Obviously, Damo, unfortunately, coming out on the medium tyres. Wasn't very fortunate. Did have a bit of a spin, so we'll be starting towards the back of the grid. But the story of the session there was initially 5 seconds off the time, up in the front of Apache, and then Grenster coming in right at the last second to take nearly half a second out of that time and put himself on pole position. What an unbelievable qualifying session. So what we'll do now, just give 1 minute, everyone, if you want to get your race tyre sorted, get yourself sorted, everything, and then we will begin the 9-lap sprint race of Spa-Francorchamps for round 6 of the FTWRC. Right, so once all drivers are ready, if you just throw up an R in the game chat, and then make sure we know you're ready. Everyone's checked in, and then we will be good to go. All right, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. There we are for 9 laps of Spa-Francorchamps, the sprint race of round 6 of the FTWRC. Coming to you live from FTWTV. Let's get it on. There we are, as the drivers lined up on the grid in a very rainy Belgian track today. Grenstar on pole position, Apache, then Capitan Jinx, and Old Man Stu at the front. It's lights out, and the race is on, and it's a good getaway from all the drivers. A little bit of wheel spin, it looks like. But then coming through, looks like Old Man Stu's got a little bit deep there. Apache's got a bit wide, but he's held it together. He's got a very good line coming out. Then it's Old Man Stu takes the lead as they come out of La Source, as they head down towards Eau Rouge. It's Apache in third place, Grenstar in second, followed by Capitan Jinx. But it's Old Man Stu out in front as they navigate Eau Rouge for the first time so far. And it's just holding together, and they've gone very well to get through there. Now looking back with Apache squirreling, but he keeps it together. Unbelievable start of the race as we look a bit further back. Iron Max right on the tail here. Scotty Ray right behind him as well. But the talk of the race so far is Old Man Stu, but he's under pressure now from Grenstar out at the front, but he manages to hold it well. Position he's got very well as to come through. All the drivers behind seem to be getting through cleanly as well. It's an excellent start of the race, but Old Man Stu must be absolutely buzzing with that start. Oh, and Iron Max is on a spin. Looking back through the grid, Iron Max is on a spin. He's come off the track, and that gives more space now for the drivers to come through. So we've got Scotty Race in fourth place, right behind his teammate Apache, who's putting the pressure on Grenstar behind. We've got Capitan Jinx on the full wet tyres behind Scotty Ray as they come through No Name, as the rain falls. Chicken Yoga full wet tyre as well, being pressured from behind by Mia Skinner, who's on the intermediate tyres. So she's going to be one to try to make a move as quick as she can, make the most of those intermediate tyres. As he just moves past Chicken Yoga, not putting up too much resistance, knowing it would be a very difficult corner to try to go side by side through. But that being said, Rhodesy doesn't mind, and Rhodesy's gone around the outside of Chicken Yoga and down the inside of Mia Skinner. What an absolutely unbelievable introduction of the race has been for Rhodesy. He does have a half a second time penalty for a track limit penalty, but I'm not sure where that was taken as he goes through there. An excellent start. As we look further back through the grid, we've got Chaos Druid sitting just in front of Eddie Kaplap. Eddie Kaplap on the intermediate tyres, also now ahead. But as we look back from Eddie Kaplap, we can see Iron Max now starting to make moves, trying to get his position back, and he's caught now against Mihai. Mihai, very, very, very competent driver, especially in these conditions. Not always made the best calls strategically, but on the tyres that he's on, he always makes the best decisions on track. So now look at what we can see. Iron Max now alongside Mihai, just taking that position as they're going to Blanchimont. Mihai just let him through there, knowing that it was a bit risky to do anything other than that. But he also knows that by doing that, he slows it down. It gives Scooby a chance to start closing that gap. And behind him, we've got on the intermediate tyre, Grandpa Gary. I'm not sure what happened to Damo. I've only just flicked back through here. And Damo, he's on the medium tyres again. Damo's on medium tyres. As he comes through the penalty line, as he goes forward, another very unfortunate for Damo to be on the medium tyre again. But looking forward to the front, Old Man Stu still holding his lead out in the front. 4 tenths ahead now with Grenstar still in second. As they come down again to Eau Rouge for the second time. Looking back from Grenstar's position, he's got 7 tenths on Apache. But Apache is being tailed by his teammate Scotty Ray. Teammates outside, but in this league there is no teams. They are vying for the top position in this league, and currently they are battling, but it's Grenstar who's also there with it, so they don't want to slow each other down too much, knowing that Grenstar could then have the opportunity to get away. As you can see, just trying to push Apache a little bit further towards the front, but that does also put out of whack his braking points and where he needs to be slowed down. So it's a very tricky game to be played. And then from Scotty Ray, we'll have Capitan Jinx behind, just losing the back end a little bit, but holding it together well as he's just drifting. He's going sideways round that corner. He's driving that car at an angle Pythagoras couldn't figure out. Unbelievable car control by Capitan Jinx as he comes around the hairpin now towards No Name, being closely followed by Mia Skinner. Mia Skinner now just starting to make a little bit of a gap between herself and Chaos behind, who is battling side by side, and he's just got the better of Rhodesy there, who's backed out, and it's now Rhodesy right up behind Chaos Druids. But looking behind that, there is no time to be wasted, because just behind there, that is the front bumper of Iron Max. And Iron Max has shown in the one race he has taken part in so far that he is more than capable enough of taking positions left, right and centre. So he's going to be waiting for an opportunity for these two battling side by side again, and Rhodesy goes down the inside. Another excellent move there, and Chaos Druid do it very, very well. Not to waste any time, but not to put up too much resistance and cause any issues that might drop them back from the pack. But it does give Iron Max that opportunity now to get bumper to bumper with Chaos Druid, who's going to be looking in his mirrors while looking forward. Iron Max just a little bit sideways there as well, all being followed by the view of Eddie Catlap, who can see it all unfolding ahead of him, knowing that Mihai is not far behind, only half a second, and Mihai has the ability to go past people. So Eddie Catlap will be trying to put that out of the back of his mind and focus on staying in touch with Iron Max, which is going to be difficult because he's never been able to stay in touch with himself. As we look back here, Scooby now pressing right up on the tail of Chicken Yoga, and he's got the run on Chicken Yoga, and he's pulling Grandpa Gary along in the slipstream. So the three of them now coming into the bus stop chicane. Grandpa Gary just easing off, not wanting to go in the back. Very, very wise driving from all three of them now as they go round the final corner. You can throw a blanket over the three of them, and it's good traction from Scooby. He's got the run out of this corner. He now is right up behind Chicken Yoga, and as they go, he goes around the outside. Chicken Yoga defensive on the inside, and as we see there, Scooby going very wide, looking like he's going to cut back, but it's giving Grandpa Gary the opportunity to go down the inside. Has he got the traction? He just hasn't got the traction to go there, but Grandpa Gary did look like he had the opportunity, but now he has the slipstream with two drivers in front of him. If he just navigates through all routes carefully, he's going to have the benefit of a double slipstream all the way around the Kemmel Straight. And this is going to be fireworks coming into the corners at the end of this. So I'm going to stay on board with Grandpa Gary now. Looking ahead, we can see Chicken Yoga, Scooby taking a very defensive line very early on, keeping his tyres on that wet part of the track, as you can see, but now coming in. And that's the fastest first sector for Grandpa Gary there as he's coming around, sticking right on the tail of Chicken Yoga. Chicken Yoga just having his eye on the mirrors, and that's just all. Grandpa Gary's going down the inside. Grandpa Gary, what a move on the inside. And now Grandpa Gary's over the 13th place, and now he's going to have to be looking backwards to make sure Chicken Yoga doesn't get back. But what a move that is from Grandpa Gary, and he's going to be loving that. And now he has his sights set on Scooby PCM ahead of him. But there's a yellow flag, and who's that off the track? It's Iron Max again. Iron Max is off the track. That's Grandpa Gary up to 12th. And as he goes down, very well Chicken Yoga staying, but it has given Scooby the opportunity just to create a little bit of a gap there. But what a start of the race for Grandpa Gary, and what a move that was on Chicken Yoga. But looking back now, on board with Iron Max, not sure what happened there. He does have front bumper damage. Obviously in the sprint race, it is light damage that won't need to be repaired in the pits, but something happened there, and he's gone off for the second time, and those wet tyres might not be serving him as well as we thought they would. Now back up to the front. Oh, I wasn't paying enough attention to the front. It's been exciting throughout. Now we've got Capitan Jinx in the lead. As he's being overtaken by Apache, now Apache's in the lead. Capitan Jinx in second. As Grenster goes on the inside, all the way around, coming into Franchimont. And now Grenster takes second position back. And this is unbelievable. Looking back 1.4 seconds, we've got Rhodesy and Chaos Druid. But what has happened at the top here? Old Man Stu down in the 7th place. I've almost lost for words, but not quite. So coming around the bus stop chicane, the final chicane, Apache going a little bit deep there. Grenster getting a very good run out, as we'll see from the onboard of Capitan Jinx. But now looking forward, we can see Grenster in the slipstream now of Apache, both on intermediate tyres now. Rhodesy with the fastest lap so far with 2 minutes 27. Excellent time from Rhodesy, an excellent debut as Grenster looks for the cutback, but he's getting excellent traction out of there. He's going to sit in the slipstream of Apache going all the way down into our room. And as we look back now, we've got Capitan Jinx just sitting behind Rhodesy now. There's bumper to bumper as they come through. He's probably going to ease off a little bit. Rhodesy on the intermediate tyre on which he has set the fastest lap so far, but Capitan Jinx right behind in the slipstream on the full wet tyres. So it'll be interesting to see what difference these tyres have and who has the better traction. Rhodesy good defensive very early. That gives Capitan Jinx chance to get alongside now as they go down the Kemmel Straight. Just going to give him the squeeze a little bit as they come in. Who's going to be latest on the break? It is Capitan Jinx, and he leaves that inside space as he should, and Rhodesi's held it around the outside, and Rhodesi's held it around the outside. What a move that is, but in doing so, that gives Chaos Druid the chance to move up into 4th place. So Capitan Jinx down to 5th within half a lap, and Chaos Druid now up into 4th, Rhodesy in the podium positions. As we look back now, Scotty Ray 6th place, being pressured from behind by Eddie Catlap. Who would have thought you would have heard this after 4 laps of Spa? But that's how it is. Eddie Catlap now on the tail of Scotty Ray, hoping to put some pressure on, just waiting for a mistake ahead so he can sweep up the pieces and put himself a few places further, because he has now made a gap of nearly 2 seconds between himself and Mihai behind him. So Eddie Catlap doing very well so far in this race, and that extra ballast really helping in the wet. And then as we come back now, so Grandpa Gary, Scooby has got away from Grandpa Gary there, but we do have Mia Skinner right behind Mia Skinner now, all the way down in 11th. Again, not sure what happened so far to be in these positions, but we have Grandpa Gary 7/10 ahead of Mia Skinner now. Looking back, we've got Chicken Yoga, we're 13 seconds behind with a 3-second penalty. We have Old Man. Now, what a bold move this. Old Man Stu, I've only just realised Old Man Stu's pitted. Unfortunately, across the pit lane. But he's come out on the medium tyres. And as we can see, there is a dry line forming. Could this be a stroke of genius from Old Man Stu? He's got a 10-second buffer behind him to Iron Max. He's got 13 seconds ahead of him to Chicken Yoga. So there's no reason why Old Man Stu needs to deviate from the racing line. And if he stays on the racing line, then in theory, he is on the fastest tyre of anyone so far. This could be an absolute masterstroke from the man who lives and breathes Spa-Francorchamps. So wow, what a start this evening this is. But that penalty now does give Iron Max, and Iron Max is on the soft tyre. That's why he's as far back as well. My word. So with this 8-second gap, now 7 seconds because of that penalty, it looks like by the end of the next lap or two, we could be seeing a battle between Iron Max and Old Man Stu. But we have more people coming into the pits now. Kapitan Jinx's wet tyres, very worn. Mihai, what tyres will they be coming out on now as well? A few pits, and I said it's very rare in a sprint race, your strategy plays a part, but this is when it does. So as we're seeing Mihai now coming out on the medium tyres, but Kapitan Jinx coming right behind him on the softs. Now this is really heating up now because Mihai is going to be wanting to keep Kapitan Jinx behind him for as long as he can, but he doesn't want to slow himself down at all, and he doesn't want to be going anywhere near those wet patches on the track. So now, as we see, Kapitan Jinx, as it goes through all rows, only a second and a half behind him is Old Man Stu, who is now, his tyres are warmed up, he's done his outlap. Old Man Stu is now in striking distance of the drivers in front, and the pressure that he's about to apply to Mihai and Kapitan Jinx is going to force a mistake from them. If not, it's going to mean they're going to have to go onto the wet line to drive defensively, just because they know how fresh and prime Old Man Stu tyres are, but they also know that if they bunch up the pack too much, that's going to give Iron Max the opportunity to close up behind, because he is on the soft tyre. So he's going to be going even faster, and he's going to be bunching up. What a start. But hang on a minute, is that rain? Oh, the rain's starting to fall. Oh, the rain is starting to fall. So all those drivers now, so we've got a patch out on front, on the intermediate. Rhodesy in second place, on intermediate, following, and Grenster in third. But now Grenster does have a half-second penalty to serve. Scotty Ray on the intermediates as well. So as we're coming through, there was a few drivers now. When we look at this side of the track where Chaos Crew it is, the rain is only just starting to fall again. It is only just starting to fall. But when we look back onto the track where the slick tyre drivers are, the rain is starting to fall. They are on the wet side of the track, and Mihai and now Kapitan Jinx struggling to stay on the track. Old Man Stu being very careful. He's managed to go past there. He's hit his braking zone. That's a very good overtake from Old Man Stu, given the circumstances, and he's managed to make the position stick. But then you can see behind Kapitan Jinx just slides off as well. Iron Max on the soft tyre, even worse. He's in the gravel. And just as the track started to dry up and the dry line started to develop, the heavens have opened on this end of the track. Oh my word, this is unbelievable. So now looking back to the front, we have Apache still in the lead, 1 seconds clear of Rhodesy in his first ever FTWRC race. Apache looks to have the bit between his teeth right now. Looks like he's picked the optimum tyre as he stays off that dry line, making sure that his tyres stay wet, stay cold, and don't degrade any more than they need to. Very intelligent driving that is for Apache, and you can tell every bit of why he has that A+ next to his name. Grenster now goes round the outside of Rhodesy, manages to keep the position. A very good move from Grenster, just deals with a little bit of a snap there, but does it very well. And again, he's going to be wanting to keep his position, and he's going to be looking at keeping these tyres cool, because the degradation on dry track is terrible on these tyres, but he knows that more than I do. So now we've got Grenster, like I say, right in front now of Rhodesy, but Scotty Ray is right behind. Oh, Rhodesy's gone sideways a little bit. He's managed to hold it together. We've got some Tokyo Drift moments going on, but now that gives Scotty Ray the opportunity to look down the inside as they come through Pouillon, and Scotty Ray takes that position, and there's just a little bit of contact, but not enough to make it matter. But now Scotty Ray's got the run on Grenster, and Grenster's just keeping off to the side, having gone off the track a little bit, but he's held it well. But Scotty Ray now goes through into second place. Now Rhodesy's looking down the inside. He thinks better of it. Little bit of a brash move, but he made Grenster think about what he's doing. So now it's Scotty Ray in second, Grenster third, and Rhodesy in fourth. Looking further back, we've got Chaos Druid lapping very consistently there as well. Got a bit of a buffer between himself, Rhodesy, and Eddie Catflap. Eddie Catflap now still on the intermediate tyres. Still, the consistency of Eddie Catflap's doing him very well now, because through all of the battles, the pit stops, the strategy, Eddie Catflap has just been consistently putting in times on these intermediate tyres, and he's now sitting in 6th place, 11 seconds ahead of Scooby behind him. Very well done, Eddie. Let's keep this going. Now we've got Scooby still defending to Mia Skinner. Scooby on the inters as well as Mia Skinner. Mia's a little bit more worn than what Scooby's are. So it's going to be interesting to see if Scooby can use that very slight tyre advantage to keep Mia Skinner behind for the rest of this race, or whether or not it's going to be worth pushing and try it to see if he can close any of the gap on Eddie Catflap that he can. Now Grenster coming in now. This is an interesting stop here. So Grenster on the intermediate tyres. So that means Chaos Druid goes through up into 4th place. And it means Eddie Catflap too will inherit 5th position. Now Scooby comes down the final corner. He too is going to then be taking a position from Grenster. Mia Skinner into the pits as well on the intermediate. So it's very interesting to see what tyres these are going to come out on. Is it fresh inters to just go all the way, or are they actually now thinking of something different? I can't imagine them coming out on slicks, and it is a fresh set of intermediates for Grenster. So expect some aggressive driving here from Grenster. He's got positions to make up, and he knows how to make them. Grandpa Gary, 8th position now as he comes round La Source. His tyres starting to feel it. He's done a very, very consistent start of the race, and as we can see now, so he comes out. Mia Skinner comes out of the pits, not quite yet, so he's in 8th place. Grandpa Gary, 8th position now. Very good race for Grandpa Gary so far. Still 2 laps left, but doing very well. He's just going to have to make sure he nurses those tyres back round, because they don't have too long left in them. But if he's not battling side by side and braking late, they should be all right to get to the rest of the race if he plays his cards right. But now, Mia Skinner coming out. Mia Skinner's on the soft tyre. Now that's a bold strategy. We've seen the rain come and it's gone again. Is it going to stay off? If the rain stays off, we could see Mia Skinner pick up a couple of positions here. If it comes back, it could be good night, Irene. So now looking back after the issues with the pit, so we've got Iron Max. Iron Max is braving it out. Mihai on the mediums, Iron Max on the soft, braving it out. So it looks like they now have a battle with each other, the battle of the slicks, we could call it, because they have stayed out on those tyres. Max is still on the soft tyres despite the slip and sliding of the track, and he's right on the tail of Mihai, who's on the mediums. Looking back now, Old Man Stu's taking the plunge, and he's gone for the soft tyres as well. So he's going to be wanting to make sure he keeps those nice and dry. This is the second risk Old Man Stu's taken, but unfortunately, the way the races went, there is no more risks to take. Old Man Stu is going to just be throwing everything at this right now. As you can see, Damo ahead of him. He's closing that gap on Damo very, very quickly already. And it looks like Damo's gone defensive on the inside, and it just looks like he's giving Old Man Stu the nod to let him know he's going to take the racing line. Very well done, very fair for Damo, knowing that his tyres are very, very worn out on the intermediate tyres now. Old Man Stu, fresh soft tyres, he's going to be wanting to make as much as he can out of this, not wanting to leave this racing line. But now, jumping forward to the front, we've got Scotty Ray, Rosie and Chaos Druid all come into the pits now, but we have Apache now out in front. Apache has this and one more lap left on these tyres. We know that he's capable of making these tyres last. However, we also know that he's also capable of running tyres into the ground. So it's going to be very interesting to see if he does this, the way it's going to go. And throughout all of this, yes, you hear me right, Eddie Catflap with 2 laps to go is in 2nd place. Eddie Catflap is nearly a second ahead of Grenster. Grenster's now pressing Eddie Catflap for the 2nd place position. Eddie Catflap, he hasn't got the run out of the corner. He's taken to the inside, defending very early. Grenster's just going to stay in that slipstream and then pull out. And now it's Grenster and Eddie Catflap battling for 2nd position. Eddie Catflap drops down into 3rd. He's got a 5 or 6 second gap between himself and Rhodesy. Rhodesy just come out on fresh intermediate tyres. So when it comes down to it, within the next lap or two, that dry line might not prove the best for the intermediate tyres. Scotty Ray behind Rhodesy on the soft tyres. But Eddie Catflap, all he's going to do is nurse these tyres round, and he might... No, I'm getting ahead of myself. His tyres nearly dead, but I'm trying, Eddie. But Rhodesy, fresh intermediates versus Scotty Ray's fresh softs behind. So as you can see there, Rhodesy just getting onto the curb, spraying up some of that water. Scotty Ray is going to be staying tightly to this racing line, tight to the dry line. not wanting to veer off anywhere he can. Oh, and Eddie cat flap just looking to go. Eddie cat flap just veering wide, which is fall right into the hands of Scotty Ray, who now on the soft tyres, he's got them nicely into a nice window working, a good temperature in them tyres now, and he's now right behind Rhodesy. Rhodesy on the intermediate tyre, and after half an outlap, they're already starting to degrade because this line is dry, and Scotty Ray knows that. Scotty Ray doesn't need to press the issue, and very well done by Rhodesy. They're realising what was happening and just allowing Scotty Ray just to take that position so that neither of them lose a lot of time. But now that puts Scotty Ray third place on soft tyres. We've got Grenster on the intermediate tyres in second place. And Apache's tyres are absolutely... Apache's, all of his tyres, he's running on flats. So Apache's coming into the pits for the final lap. Apache's now in the pits taking those tyres off, which means Grenster's going to go over to first place with plenty of life left in those tyres. But he does have Scotty Ray closing up behind. 6 seconds is the gap, but Scotty Ray is now following a dry line on soft tyres, so he's going to be really putting pressure on Grenster now, but that does mean he has a whole lap to make up 6 whole seconds. Can he do it? Is it possible? Apache's now going to be ruined today because now Rhodesy gets the position ahead of Apache. As Apache now comes into the pit grid, into his box, the tyres are getting changed, but now Grenster comes down to a Rouge on the final lap of the sprint race in first place, followed by Scotty Ray 5 seconds behind, followed by the newcomer, the debutant, Rhodesy. And now Apache just now leaving the pit lane. He's in fourth. He's got the softs on. He needs to make sure he stays off that wet, stays on those dry lines, because right behind him, that's it, right behind, the timing change. Got Chaos Druid 4 seconds behind, who looks like if Chaos can just bring this home on these soft tyres, stay on the driving line, this could be an excellent 5th place finish for Chaos Druid. Oh, commentators first! Oh, sorry, Chaos, as he's gone through Rouge, he's had a big spin, he's had a moment, and that means Mia Skinner's getting the yellow flags, but that's because when she comes over the crest of Rouge, there's a car on the side of the track. It's Chaos Druid, and Mia Skinner is up into 5th place, and that means now Scooby is coming up behind. He's getting the green flags, and he's going to be coming across. Chaos Druid moves out of the way, and that means Scooby now into 6th place, and Chaos Druid. Oh, it was all going so well until the commentator's curse took apart, and I had to apologise because he lost it going over the bridge of Rouge and Radion. But now jumping back, we have half a lap left between Grenster and Scotty Ray. There was 6 seconds at the start of the lap. There is 3. Oh, Damo's gone wide, but it's to let Grenster through. But now, as Rhodesy comes through, Rhodesy now 6 seconds is the gap. It looks like Grenster might have done everything he needs to do to claim this victory here from the pole position, and what a performance it's been from Rhodesy to be where he is, followed by Scotty Ray, who has front bumper damage there. I'm not sure what happened, but Apache is also behind. Apache's going to be pushing, but it's a long way between himself and Scotty Ray as he comes up behind Damo, whose jaws just moved away to give Apache the space and spun out in doing so. But as he comes round now, as he rounds Blanchimont, coming towards the bus stop chicane for the final time in this sprint race, doing it unbelievably well. So we have Grenster in P1 coming round the bus stop as he rounds the final corner. And it's been a while since we've said it, but it is Grenster for the win as Grenster takes the pole position and the race victory. Followed now Rhodesy, our race debutant, crossing the line just in front of Scotty Ray in 3rd. And then we have Apache coming round now. If only those tyres lasted 1 lap longer, we would be singing a different song. But Apache comes down in 4th to round off the top 4 of an unbelievable sprint race. So then coming across the line next, we have Mia Skinner. As Mia comes round, an excellent performance from Mia Skinner, crossing the line on those soft tyres. The two made work very well. An excellent time there for Mia Skinner, 5th place. Scooby PCM, an excellent race as well. Brilliant qualifying. Very closely followed by Capitan Chintz as they both cross the line. Chicken Yoga get all the drivers very close to each other as it comes round, but then Chaos Druid is about 5 seconds, the flash of the lights from Chicken Yoga, but then we see Chaos Druid and Iron Max is pulling. Oh, if Iron Max just managed to get the traction down, he may have seen a different finish there, but Iron Max in 10th, Mihai coming across the line in 11th, and as we see now, coming through the bus stop chicane in his nice simple livery, Eddie Catflap coming across in 12th. If it wasn't for those tyres, we could have singing a different song about Eddie as well. But what a race. And then Old Man Stew, the trials and tribulations of the race ahead, coming out onto the slick tyres, having the problems with the rain restart. He crosses the line in 13th. Grandpa Gary now coming round. I can't remember the name of this one, but it's the one that leads towards Blanchimont. And again, 14th position for Grandpa Gary. Had an excellent race, very consistent for a lot of that race, made a few really good overtakes, an excellent performance. And it's just unfortunate that the conditions and the variation of things going on. Oh, Gary's off. Oh, because of the commentator, but he pulled it back together. And he's off again. But he's pulling it back together. And it's just all come together to make one unbelievable race as Grandpa Gary comes around the bus stop chicane, usually standing at the bus stop, waving his flag, waiting for the bus driver with his pass, but he's the one driving this time. And it was an excellent performance from Grandpa Gary, despite the finish. But Damo, very unfortunate from Damo, starting on the medium tyres as well. Very unfortunate. Excellent start of the night. What an unbelievable race, and congratulations for the pole sitter and sprint winner, Grenster, followed by the debutant getting second place in the sprint with Rhodesy, followed by Scotty Ray, Apache, Mia Skinner, Scooby, Capitan Jinx, and Chicken Yoga rounds out the points for the sprint race. Absolutely unbelievable. So now give drivers just a couple of minutes break, a couple of minutes chance to go to the toilet, have a cold shower. If anything like me, I'm going to go and stand outside in the rain for a little bit. So give 5 minutes, and then we'll get qualified started for the main race. And as well, an extra point in it there, which could be all the difference. Obviously, Mia Skinner gaining some points. Was Mia Skinner? Yeah, Mia Skinner finishing fifth. So gaining some points, 4 points, but with the fastest lap. Old Man Stew did manage to take the fastest lap of the race. So that's an extra point for Old Man Stew, which will come in clutch towards the end of the season between the battle between himself and Mia Skinner. So we will be back in just a few minutes. All right, so just everyone got 1 minute left, 1 minute, and then we'll start the qualifying session for the main race of the evening at Spa-Francorchamps. Just 1 minute, everyone. All right, so if everybody's ready, we'll quickly get these event settings changed. Ready for the feature race. 27 laps around Spa-Francorchamps. Quite a lot of changes there, you'll notice on the sides. So if everyone wants to ready up, and we will get this underway ASAP. So once everyone's checked in, we'll start qualifying. Until then, nobody out on track. Everyone must stay in the pit lane until qualifying starts. And then we will get going. And what an unbelievable sprint race that was. A very exciting race. Fitting of the track. You know, it's such an old track, being the token point of many, many historical moments in racing, be it through dangerous crashes, horrendous fast sections of the track, or any cat flap. Either way, it's all fun and games. First race was actually 1921 round Spa, but only one guy signed up for it, so it didn't even go ahead. It was just based with a motorcycle race, so it's a little bit of trivia for you. I mean, they could have given the guy the win, you know what I mean, but they didn't. It's just how it is. And ever since then, throughout all of time, there's never been a Grand Prix held at Spa that's been won by a Belgian. So, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. So now just waiting for Mia Skinner to ready up, and then we'll be ready to go. Ah, there we are. So that's everyone readied up, ready to start the qualifying 10 minutes qualifying session for the 27 lap race around Spa-Francorchamps, and it begins now. So as we can see, start of qualifying. Wet race again. So it's Mia Skinner out first, getting ahead, get that lap in. Old man Stu second out on track. Inseparable they are in points, in terms of vicinity. Glued at the hip. Unbelievable. Then, speaking of which, there's Scotty Ray right up behind the patches that go through Eau Rouge, and the rain is really falling early on. As you see, a patch just skips straight over Eau Rouge like it didn't exist. Picks up that half a second penalty, but he will be serving that before the start of his first flying lap. so it's not going to affect his lap, and it will just give Scotty Ray the opportunity to get out ahead of him a little bit. We've got Rhodesy, excellent performance from Rhodesy in the sprint race. Repping it for Wales. As you see, Damo repping it for Odyssey Motorsports, Team Odyssey Motorsports, as well as a few other drivers compete with Odyssey Motorsports. Old man Stu competes in leagues over there as well, and obviously the team principal, as it were, Mia Skinner, OMS, UUGT on YouTube. Excellent community they've got. As we see Mihai coming round, he's going to be looking. He's on the full wets. Scooby as well. Looks like everyone's going to be on the full wets. We've got Captain Jinx coming round with that pink tint to his livery that we've been so used to seeing in the past. Eddie Catlap on the intermediates, hoping that extra ballast he carries is going to give him a little bit more downforce, a little bit more traction as he's going to go onto the intermediate tyres. Maybe he's thinking that this rain is going to subside somewhat fairly quickly, but it'll be interesting to see. The man can read the future. I don't know if you see his poster advertising this night's race, but it was a Porsche in the rain. Maybe he knows something we don't. Taking Yoga now going up behind. Iron Max comes as he comes round Puyon. A little bit of front bumper damage there as well, and obviously in the main race it is heavy damage, so that front bumper damage is going to stay there until he hits to change it. So it'll be interesting to see what happened there, whether it was contact or whether it wasn't. We've got Grandpa Gary on the intermediate tyres. Obviously, as a reminder, people know in qualifying you cannot quit and go back to the pit lane. You must complete your in lap and out lap. There is no quitting. Once you quit back to the pit lane, that's qualifying over for you. We have Brenster and Chaos Drew. Chaos Drew just coming out of the pit lane now. Brenster still just sitting, waiting for his opportunity. Mia Skinner's come all the way around and she's come back into the pit. So that means outlap Chaos Drew, so it'll be Old Man Stu first to be setting a flying lap in these horrendous conditions. On the intermediate tyres, as he comes up through Eau Rouge, manages to navigate that well, keeps it between the lines. Very well done there. It's not an easy thing to do in the wet. Scotty Ray the same, using every inch of the track. And then as we look behind, Apache, followed by Rhodesy again. Very good performance from Rhodesy so far. He's on the full wet opposed to Apache on the intermediates. Damo, full wet tyres for Damo as he comes down the Camel Straight. Capitan Jinx full wets with Mihai full wets behind as well. So it looks like a lot of drivers going with the full wet tyres. Mia Skinner on her outlap as a changing. She's now full wets as well. It does look like the rain might be starting to ease slightly, but if I say that on this side of the track, it could be completely different on the other side. One of the joys of driving round Spa. So we've got Iron Max as well. He's still out on them wet tyres, still with that front bumper damage. Oh, I just got a little bit of a snap there. Don't know if that was because of the damage or whether he just went in a little bit hot. It'll be interesting to see what time he can put together. 10-minute qualifying session, so not quite 5 minutes through. So drivers will have another chance to pit and do another lap if they need to. Eddie Catlap, a little bit of front bumper damage there as well. Followed by Grandpa Gary, no damage at all. So Grandpa Gary's going to be hoping Eddie Catlap doesn't make any more mistakes. Because the last thing Grandpa Gary wants is Eddie to be the reason he doesn't get a good qualifying time. And that's the last thing Eddie wants as well. Oh, Scooby's had a bit of a spin there. So Scooby just rejoining the track as he comes down towards the hairpin. A little bit of front bumper damage for him as well. We'll see how that affects his handling. Brenster still just sitting, waiting in the pits, just waiting for an opportunity. Hoping in this rain does go a little bit, just so the track just dries up a bit more and just gets into a more manageable working window. As coming into the bus stop chicane now, we have Old Man Stu as he just comes round now. He's round the final corner. He's right up behind Scotty Ray. So we'll start seeing the first few times coming in. So what are they going to be like? So we've got Old Man Stu with a 2:43 so far. Apache with a 2:39, nearly 4 seconds. But Rhodesy goes to the top, 7/10 quicker than Apache with a 2:38.5. That's an excellent time given the consideration of these conditions. But Capitan Jinx goes 5/100ths of a second faster again. Then Mihai goes on to the second row, so he's in fourth, but that's immediately taken by Chicken Yoga, who puts himself in fourth with a 2-minute 40.1. But at the minute, we still see Kapitan Jinx sitting on provisional pole as it stands. So just coming through the bus stop chicane, we've got Eddie Cartflap. What's Eddie Cartflap's time going to be as he crosses the line? That's a 7th place. It's a 2:44 for himself. Grandpa Gary with a 2:45. Very close together they are to coming through here. So they've got a chance now to do a second running lap on that. Eddie still carrying that little bit of front bumper damage. So now Scooby, a little bit of front bumper damage for him as well. But he's now starting his flying lap. It'll be interesting to see if he can make any gains on the drivers in front of him. It's 6:49, 6:50 into qualifying session. Still yet to see Grenster make a move out of the pit lane. So he really is either wanting to start from the back so that he can laugh at everyone else wiping out in the rain, or he's waiting for this to clear up a little bit before he leaves, and it looks like the rain might just be doing that. And then I change position to the other side of the track, and it is not. We're picking up a half a second track limit penalty, but he's got no damage. It's on the full wet, so if he can just keep this one together, he stands a good time here. Mia Skinner not far ahead of him on track. So we've got Scotty Ray now. Oh, he's drifting that one sideways as he goes round there. He does have a half a second penalty. So does Chaos Druid behind. So now as they go through Blanchy Mountain, we've got Chaos Druid closely followed by Old Man Stu. Old Man Stu really wanted to improve on his time. The first lap wasn't bad, but as the track dried up behind him, everyone else's time was slowly starting to improve. So can Old Man Stu put a bit of a distance between himself and the drivers around him so far, now knowing that Grenster is now out on track as well. So Old Man Stu coming out, getting excellent traction coming out of that corner. What kind of... And Scotty Ray goes on pole position. Old Man Stu up to 5th, but it's Scotty Ray on provisional pole as it stands with a 2-minute 37.1. That's 1.3 seconds quicker than Kapitan Jinx. What a lap that was. But as we've got a gaggle of drivers crossing the line now to see what times are going to be coming in. Mia Skinner crosses the line. Mihai goes there. Mia Skinner goes second. Mia Skinner goes front row of the grid. Provisional second place for Mia Skinner. And that is going to be... Oh, that's massive in the race between herself and Old Man Stu. A second place for Mia Skinner would mean everything. So now coming around the bus stop chicane now as we flick through, got Eddie Cartflap just coming over. Eddie Cartflap puts himself 5th place with an excellent time. Grandpa Gary sets his new fastest time there with 2:40 as well. So far, we've got drivers throughout, a very, very close bunch of drivers, all holding each other up. Apache currently sitting in 8th, but he's got 4 or 5 drivers immediately in front of him, all trying, and Rhodesy moves across to let him through. Chaos Druid trying to put in a better time than what he's already got, and Apache's just hoping that he gets an opportunity, because what he can see ahead of him now is Old Man Stu starting to pull away from that pack, starting to pull away on the fresh intermediates. But so far, it's Kapitan Jinx on the front row with a 2:36.9, followed by Mia Skinner with a 2:37. And that is the 1-2 so far. 3rd place, Scotty Ray. 4th, we have Scooby PCM. But if we go down, I'm sure what we'll see now is just starting his flying lap with 15 seconds left on the clock. So this will be everyone's final lap around the track, what they are on now. And Grenster has just come out on intermediate tyres. The rain has stopped falling, and there is an entire field's worth of cars gone over this racing line. So I can see Grenster really making use of this dry line that has started to form with the rain starting to ease off. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Grenster put a time right up there at the top, if not on the top as it stands. So now with Scotty Ray just coming up to the bus stop chicane as he rounds the penultimate corner, now the final corner. His time's looking pretty good. His time's looking excellent. What can Scotty Ray do here? As he comes across the track, really is ramping up. Scotty Ray, 6.5 seconds ahead on pole position, on provisional pole. As Old Man Stu, Apache goes first, Old Man Stu in the third, Chaos Drew is fourth, Rhodesy in fifth, and that whole pack of cars have just got across the line together in blistering time, and it is Apache. And Capitan Dreams gets himself back onto the podium positions. He's in third place, but it's Apache up at the top. Apache on provisional pole. Mia Skinner goes up to third with a 2:30.8. Unbelievable. Now we've got Old Man Stu fifth, Chicken Yoga in sixth, Chaos Druid in seventh. But where is Grenster? And that's a good time as well there from Damo with a 2:33. That bumps him up. But we're going to ride on board here with Grenster. We've got a few drivers just about to cross the line. Who we've got here? Coming through the bus stop chicane, Iron Max. Iron Max is looking on a good time. Oh my word, Iron Max is flying. On the intermediate tyre, Iron Max is from 4 seconds clear at the top of 2:25.3 from Iron Max. Puts himself on provisional pole position. That is unbelievable. As Scooby crosses the line, Scooby goes up to 7th. So that means Iron Max on provisional pole position by 4 seconds, and there is only one driver on track left to complete a lap. So there is only one driver who can take this pole position away from Iron Max on only his second race in the FTWRC, but that man is none other than Grenster, who is now rounded. He's got a bit deep into there. Oh, he's got a little bit deep, but he's managed to pull it back together, and he's looking on for a good time as he comes down the final corner, and he comes hurtling towards the line. What's it going to be? It's pole position by 1/10 of a second, and Grenster takes pole position from Iron Max right at the death by 1/10 of a second, and that puts him on pole position. Iron Max in second, and Apache third, and on fourth place, rounding off the second row, is Eddie Catflap with an unbelievable 2:30.4, which is faster than Scotty Ray by 5/100ths of a second. Take a bow, Eddie Catflap. Unbelievable qualifying session right there, and it's Grenster on pole again from Iron Max down to Apache. Then it's Eddie Catflap on the second row of the grid. Wow. So we'll just give a minute or two break, just everyone make sure they get on the right tires, get all sorted, and then we'll be straight into this race. And what a race this is going to be. Right, okay, so if we've got everyone ready, if everyone makes sure they are on the correct tires, and we will get this going. What an unbelievable start again. So again, just to go through, Grenster pole position, followed by Iron Max a 10th behind. Unbelievable. They will just say he's got the correct tyres. Good. Good. What if you have the correct ones this time? So here we go. Race start. There we go. 27 laps around Spa-Francorchamps. So we'll see what the weather's like. Not sure what it'll be like later in the race. Forecast says that it shouldn't get any worse. So we will wait to see. Our forecaster in the booth, Cody Joel, has never been very good at predicting the weather. But here we go. So we have Grenster on pole position. As you can see, Iron Max, Apache, then Eddie Catflap for the start. Full damage on his lights out, and the race is on. As we see, Grenzer gets a good start away. Eddie Catflap with a good start, making time, really closing up with the back of Iron Max already, staying out wide, and is late on the brakes, and is coming round, and everyone's looking to get through there pretty cleanly. As you can see, Grenzer stays in the lead. Oh, Apache with a little wobble, but he holds his position as we look back through. So Iron Max now is just ahead of Scotty Ray. You can see Captain Jinx behind. Eddie Catflap lost a few positions, and he has Old Man Stu looking down the inside now, who thinks better of that going through Eau Rouge. Eddie Catflap just easing off, making sure he doesn't lose that position any further. Oh, he's gone across there, and I would imagine a fair few drivers will in these conditions as well. But looking forward now, it's Grenster, almost a second ahead in the lead already. Just managed to keep his nose clean, get himself out in the lead. He's on the full wet tyres. He's followed by Apache, who's going to be wanting to hunt him down as he is on the inters. As we look behind there from Apache, you can see Iron Max now third place. Iron Max right up behind Apache as well. He's on the intermediates, and as we look back from him, Scotty Ray and Capitan Jinx just battling behind. Capitan Jinx on the full wet, supposed to be intermediates of the drivers ahead. As they come down to the hairpin, all managing to stay very close together. Looks like a few drivers. No, I haven't gone wide. Oh, Scotty Ray's had a bit of a wobble, but he's held it together very well there. As he goes a little bit more sideways around the corner, this rain really is making for some exciting racing, and the way these cars are being kept under control is nothing short of miraculous. Now the Old Man Stu now looking to make waves. He's now in 6th position. He's got Rhodesy right in behind, 2/10 behind. Oh, Old Man Stu's drifting it into Pouillon. He's looking out of his window to see where he's going. Unbelievable stuff from Old Man Stu on the intermediate tyres, all the while managing to hold Rhodesy behind, who's going to be edging his best to get past, but not realising that somehow Eddie, Old Man Stu, he ran out of magic because Rhodesy's managed to pick his pocket. And as they come round now, as they just come towards him, what an unbelievable move that was. And I thought well, he is catching up. I thought Old Man Stu was going to just start to lose it, giving Eddie the chance to catch up. But Rhodesy just swept in, took that position. But now that does give Eddie Catflap the chance to try to gain a few positions back that he lost from the start. He's on the intermediate tyres, as is Old Man Stu. And he just served that penalty, so that means Scooby's just going to have the pace advantage, and he's just going to get down the inside of him as the round Blanchimont, as the work comes towards. And this is an unbelievable start to the race. But as we go flicking further back through the start, we see Scotty Ray closing to get right up on Iron Max, who takes that line very defensive as he comes through. But Iron Max has gone very deep there, and he's had to cut across the corner to keep that position. And then as a result, has he been reset? I didn't know if he'd been reset or whether. Either way, he's gone from 2nd to 6th. Rhodesy just taken that position past him as well, which gives Scotty Ray 4th place. Capitan Jinx sitting in 3rd. You can see Apache taking a bit of a wide line out there, keeping off the wet line, just to avoid any sliding around on the full wet. Apache on the intermediate. But all of this going on behind is giving Grenzer the opportunity now. Nearly 3 seconds clear at the front on the full wet tyres, and this is the kind of area we expect to see Grenzer excel. You can see most people's car would be going left and right like that, and it'd be off the track. Grenzer, as cold as ice, keeps it on the track, keeps it between the lines, and he's 3 seconds clear at the front now, and he's just going to put his head down and make sure this gap only increases from here. So looking back at Iron Max 6th position, Old Man Stu in 7th with Scooby PCM right on the tail. Scooby on full wet tyres, so he's going to have a little bit more bites to his tyre, but Old Man Stu's going to be wary because he's going to be wanting to try to get past Iron Max in front of him, but he's not going to want to give up a position to Scooby as a result. Eddie Catflap down from 4th to 9th. An excellent start from him. Usually loses a lot more positions than that, but he's done very well just to keep in the top 10 so far. As he comes down, he's on the intermediate tyre. You can see Scooby and Old Man Stu just starting the battle ahead of him, so it's going to give him opportunity to close up that gap a little bit, and hopefully the weather will ease up a little bit for these guys, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. Some intermediate, some wets. Doesn't matter what tyres you're on, it's excitement left, right and centre. But now we've got Chaos Druid. He's now looking at the bumper of Eddie Catlap. He's waiting for an opportunity to sweep up any mistakes that Eddie Catlap might make. And then looking back as well, Mia Skinner down to 11. So Mia Skinner losing some places from the start and seeing Old Man Stu scooting up ahead. So it's a good start to the race from everyone. No one's managed to go sideways into a barrier just yet. But now Mia Skinner right up on the tail of Chaos Druid, looking to make waves coming through here. So it looks like she's going to go around the outside. Surely not. Surely, oh, I was going to say, and she's managed to just pull it back in. Chaos Druid, something to think about. And that compromised his line going at the next corner because he's going to be defensive. And now this is going to give Mia Skinner the chance. Oh, I spoke about the one spinning, and there's a Catlap caught up. Eddie is off into the barrier as he comes around onto the back straight towards Blanchimont. Very unfortunate from Eddie there. The balance clearly not helping at this point. But we go back to Mia Skinner now right on the tail of Chaos Druid. The drivers here just inherit that extra position, but as he comes around now, Chaos Druid is going to have one eye in the mirrors, one eye ahead, because he's going to be looking, and he's going to be wanting to defend this line, but not in such a way that compromises his exit out, because that is what's going to keep him the position if he can. So see Rosie right up with Scotty Ray now as this rain just is relentlessly falling straight towards them, coming down this straight, down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. You can see again, Rosie on the full wet. And at the minute, it doesn't look like the weather's going to get any better for now. So he's just going to make use of the tyres while he can, and he is really closing the gap on Scotty Ray now. As they come onto the Kettle straight, Rosie has the run. Scotty Ray goes defensive very early on, takes that defensive line, as we can see now. So Rosie coming up alongside Scotty Ray. It's going to be a very dangerous corner to break late into being wet. Oh, the both breakers in, the both held the line. Very good driving there, keeping it on the outside. And Rosie's managed to keep that inside line, and he's done it very, very well. And he takes the position. What a move that is from Rosie. And as he comes down, he's made it stick. Oh, and Scotty Ray's had a moment. Scotty Ray, under the pressure, has gone off the track. And as a result now, Iron Max has gone through. Old Man Stu's going to go through as well. He's just as he comes around. Scotty Ray just manages to keep the inside line as Old Man Stu's coming around, but he's going to have the grip because he's got clean tyres opposed to Scotty Ray's dirty tyres as he just goes wide. And that is very unfortunate for Scotty Ray to spin out in the way that he did under the pressure that he was in, but that gives Rosie a bit of clean air. Iron Max has gone through, and now Old Man Stu has at least a second gap between himself and Scooby behind, so he can get his head down and focus on catching Iron Max, both on the intermediate tyres. What a start of the race this has been. And then looking back, Scooby PCM now has a 3.5 second gap between himself and Chaos Druid, and then between Chaos Druid and Mia Skinner behind is only half a second. So Mia Skinner constantly another position gain from Mia Skinner there, just by keeping her nose clean, just by keeping herself on the straight and narrow and keeping in time with Chaos Druid. So as soon as there's an opportunity, she will take it. Mia Skinner, not one for rash moves, not one for daft overtake, but very much one for manipulating the situation into giving her a position rather than having to take it for herself. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Chaos Druid deals with this pressure, because there's a lot of drivers have had this pressure before and a lot of drivers have felt the pressure. So we'll see how this goes as they come through. Blanchimont coming towards the bus stop chicane at the end of the third lap. Oh, I've got a few drivers going a little bit wide. Old Man Stu holds it together though, manages to keep it together, and he is now gaining time on Iron Max in front of him. Iron Max also going a little bit wide, but as they come through the bus stop, we can see that rain does look like it's starting to ease now, especially at this end of the track. So further up, Rosie's closing a gap on Capitan Jinx, and Capitan Jinx right up on the heels of Apache now. Oh, just wobbling around, but he's keeping it together. A very, very good effort there. That Capitan Jinx keeping in distance of Apache. Not easy to be done, especially in this weather. But Apache known for his aggressive driving, and sometimes in this kind of condition, aggressive driving isn't always the best thing. But when it pays off, it pays off. And this is how Apache learned how to drive in a go-kart in conditions like this. So this is where he feels at home. So this could be a scalp to take for Capitan Jinx if he can stay close enough. Oh, and he sets the fastest first sector time as I say that, Capitan Jinx. But while all this is happening, the man with the surgical precision, the man coined the surgeon with his accuracy, 6 seconds ahead in the lead is Grenster, looking to make his pole position, looking to convert it into his first victory of the season on a main race. And this is unbelievable. Towards the end of the season, when Scotty Ray came on board and started winning races, and Apache's up there, and Grenster was always up there with him. And now this is a late season resurgence from Grenster, just to remind everyone that the championship is not over and this man could still win it yet. And it's not something that I would see out of the realms of possibility. And now Apache, he's going to be pushing on the intermediate tyres now, because he's not going to be wanting to give up a second to anyone else if he can't. But as a result, now he is starting to be closed in on by Capitan Jinx, who cannot get away from Rhodesy behind. Rhodesy only 3 tenths behind Capitan Jinx now, and these guys are going so fast that even though they are bumper to bumper, they are starting to pull a gap. Rhodesy now nearly 4 seconds ahead of Iron Max. As we see Old Man Stu closing in, trying to close that gap up on Iron Max as well. An excellent start of the race for both of those, as Old Man Stu sets the best sector time across there. He really is pushing. Oh, he's using every bit of the track there, and we all know you go a little bit too wide there, it's race over. So he's doing very, very well. Full commitment from Old Man Stu. Nothing less than we expect to see. Chaos Druid there as well. Still under pressure from Mia Skinner. Still holding it well. I see someone there in the background going into the pits. Who do we have in the pits? It's Scotty Rees coming in off the intermediate tyres. A very interesting choice here. What? Oh, damage, right? Yeah, no, not as interesting as I thought on tyre choice. Some front bumper damage from the spin. Obviously went round an extra lap to see if he could deal with it. Couldn't manage to get it working. So Scotty Rees now having to come in early. Only 4 laps into the race to pit. Eddie Catflap, front bumper damage, intermediates still for him. A little bit of front bumper damage from that spin that he had, unfortunately. A very good qualifying session from Eddie Catflap. As this race goes on, can he see himself pull him back into where he needs to be, back up into those point positions? It'll be very interesting. I mean, points across the board, so he's in a point position as it stands, but the points positions he was in opposed to the ones he's in now. Grandpa Gary nearly 5 seconds ahead of him now. Grandpa Gary very consistent again, doing very well. Had a great sprint race, excellent qualifying, and now he's just holding position here, and he just wants to make sure that he's hitting every apex, hitting them clean, and just getting his head down, driving his own race, because that's what's going to get him closer up to Scooby in front. Because the closer Scooby gets to Chicken Yoga, the more pressure he's going to be putting on, and if they start battling, that's an opportunity for Grandpa Gary to start closing in on the cars ahead of him. So as we see from Capitan Jinx's point of view, we can see Iron Max just ahead, just starting to close in now on Rhodesy. Looks like Apache just started to make a bit of a gap away there. So Apache now scooting ahead. He's now nearly 5 seconds ahead of Rhodesy, and he's just over 3 seconds behind Grenster. So now that he's in the clean air, Apache actually starting to take little chunks out of the time of Grenster. So he is starting to put pressure on from where he is. As Grenster comes into the pits now, he's on the wet tyres. What tyres are we going to see Grenster come out on here? But that means Apache's also coming in. And Rhodesy. So going through here, Iron Max is going to be taking the first position. Are we going to see people coming out on soft tyres or medium tyres? Are we going to see slick tyres already? As Iron Max takes the fastest lap, and it looks like we've got just about everyone piling into the pits now. So at the front, we've got Iron Max, followed by Capitan Jinx, Chaos Druid, and then we've got Grenster in the pits now. What tyres is it going to be that he's putting on? As Mihai goes through into 4th place, Chicken Yoga into 5th. And it's the medium tyres. It's a very aggressive strategy. It's the medium tyres all ready for Grenster. As he comes out now, so he's just come out in a little bit of traffic, but he's going to get those tyres up for working condition. Then we've got Rhodesy coming out. He's on the medium tyres as well. Mia. Now Mia's coming out on the soft tyres, struggling to get the power down because coming out of the pit lane there is just puddles. So putting the power down there and our wheels were just spinning and the car wasn't moving. But as a result now she's going to have to keep those tyres dry, just navigate through our route nice and carefully, knowing that Old Man Stu right behind is also now on slick tyres. Old Man Stu on the medium, so Mia Skinner's going to have the faster tyre once they get up the heat, but it means Old Man Stu's going to have a bit more longevity in those tyres. The track will be cool, so degradation shouldn't be too much of an issue, but looking through, now Scotty Ray also on the medium tyre, so we'll see a lot of drivers coming in now. As the track starts to drive, we'll see there, Iron Max trying to take every opportunity he can, get off the racing line and get those tyres, slice them through the puddles where you can keep them wet, keep them from degrading, keep himself on the track, and I would imagine we'll see him going through the pit lane to get some tyres on that haven't got treads, as well as Capitan Jinx behind Chaos Druid, Mihai on the intermediates, but now Apache on the medium tyre. Well, have I missed something here? Well, hang on, I think I've missed something here. Grenster's on the medium tyre, 2 places behind Apache, who's on the medium tyre. Have I missed an overtake? Yeah, Apache is in like net first position here, really. So I'm not sure what happened there, but he's a good few seconds ahead of where Grenster is. So I'm going to have to go back after there and have a look and see what happened there, because I must have missed something completely there while I'm looking at all the chaos unfolding elsewhere. But it looks like Apache now in net first position because the drivers in front of him now, Iron Max, Capitan Jinx, all going into the pits, Chaos Druid, and I would imagine we'll see Mihai as well. Yes, so as Apache now comes round out of the post stop chicane, he's going to come through, and as he comes out of the first corner, he's going to round the source, and it is now Apache takes the first place, so it's Apache out in the lead at the moment. So Grenster now in second as he follows through, but there's a 5-second gap between Apache and Grenster. Both on the medium tyres, so as well, neither of them with the tyre advantage over the other, but now Grenster's going to have to put his head down and really focus on getting ahead because Iron Max is just coming out of the pits now, but because of those tyre differences in the offset, Iron Max having to really creep out because he's on that coming out of the pit lane. It's just a swimming pool. So you crawl out of that pit lane, and now Rhodesy on the medium tyres, sitting in behind Iron Max, closely followed by Mia Skinner, who's now on soft tyres. So Rhodesy's going to have eyes in the back of his head because Mia's going to be closing in with unbelievable pace here, as long as she keeps it off those puddles, because those tyres are going to suffer. But if it stays on the dry, Mia's in with a shot of getting a couple of positions over the next lap or two, because Rhodesy and Iron Max on the medium tyres that aren't quite up to temperature. Then we've got Grenster on the medium tyres, 5 seconds of drift from the leader, which is Apache. Eddie Carflap now in the pits as well, so he's going to be getting those fresh tyres on. He's made the adjustments to the front bumper that he needed, so he doesn't have an excuse anymore. And as he comes round now on the medium tyres, that puts him, he's going to be about 20 seconds behind Grand Park Garage, who's just going through Eau Rouge and Radiano. I've had a spin! It's Scooby! Scooby coming to the top. He must have just touched one of the puddles and it's put him on a spin, coming out of Eau Rouge there. So he's now going to be getting pressured because we're going to see Eddie Carflap from behind now coming up through Eau Rouge, through Radion, and he's going to be closing in with a lot of pace. But with Scooby having front wheel damage, we might start to see his car start to crab a little bit, going over to the side and pulling it in. And as we can see, it looks like that is what's happening. It looks like the car wants to pull to the right ever so slightly, and that's going to be horrible for a lap. And that is really unfortunate from Scooby, when he's just come out on fresh tyres, trying to get his head down and looking back, and now to know as well he's got Eddie Carflap breathing down his neck, and Eddie Carflap has got something to prove now because he's had his Carflap caught up, and you only need one of them a race, and he's had 2 actually, so get it together. But now Grenster, there's something wrong with my timing pod, because now I'm looking at Grenster, he's 6 seconds ahead of Apache. My PlayStation okay here, everywhere I look away from the front. So Grenster 6 seconds ahead on the medium tyre. Oh, Apache's got rear bumper damage. Has Apache had a spin? He's having to come into the pits again, which means Iron Max on the fresh mediums. He's going to now start this lap ahead of Apache, so that's Grenster back in the lead now. Grenster on the medium tyres, up to temperature. He's going to be sitting in a nice place now with no one ahead, no one behind, just being able to do his own race the way he needs to, because Iron Max now coming round La Source, he's in the same position. Mia Skinner very closely following him round. Mia's on the soft tyres, so could be looking to close up a bit of a gap here, but Mia's tyres will start to fall off soon, so she's only got a couple of laps in which to get this move done. And I'm sure Iron Max will be aware of that, so he'll be doing everything he can to stay out of striking distance. But Mia Skinner has an opportunity here. Can she take it? And she sets the fastest first sector time. Oh, we've got a spinner. We've got a spinner. Who is it? Oh, it's Scotty Ray. Oh, he's gone. Scotty Ray's gone. Oh, okay. Scotty Ray out of the race. Not sure what happened there, but that does take a bit of the pressure off now for the battle at the front, because Apache was being pressured at the top of the table by Scotty, but he's had that spin on the Camel Straight. So now Grenster 12 seconds at the front. Iron Max in second place as this track really starting to heat up now, really starting to weather in, and it's looking like it's only going to get better as time goes. And Mia Skinner just under 2 seconds behind Iron Max now, followed by Capitan Jinx, who is very closely followed. Oh, Capitan Jinx on the hard tyres, he's off. Oh, he's gone round Pouillon, and he's just got his wheels onto the curb and he's sent him off. When he's on the hard tyres, he came out looking for a long stint, but now he's got rear wheel and bumper damage. That could put a real spanner in the works for him right now, as he sees Old Man Stu goes past. Old Man Stu with a little bit of bumper damage at the front there as well. His tyres are still looking good, Nick, though. Can he ride it out and keep this on the track with that damage? But I would see as well Rhodesy. So he's fourth place now, 11 seconds to drift with Mia Skinner. Rear bumper damage for him, rear wheel damage. This is what happens, unfortunately, when it comes to heavy damage in the rain. The slightest incident can bear the heaviest punishment. So now still 2 seconds to drift with Iron Max is Mia Skinner. Her tyres just starting to fall now, still in good working condition at the moment, so she'll still get a good couple of laps out of it. But as we see, it's Grenster on the medium tyres with the fastest lap of the race so far. 12 seconds ahead now of Iron Max. Oh, just looking back there, look like Mia Skinner might have gone a little bit wide. She's just gone off, so she's lost 4 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds to Iron Max now, but that gives Rhodesy the opportunity to close up the gap a little bit, but his rear bumper damage is causing him problems as well. But that is giving Old Man Stu a chance now to creep up, and now 5th place for Old Man Stu. And now on board with Apache. Apache's got on the hard tyres. Now that is something we seldom see from Apache, but he's obviously looking a little bit further into the race than just the next few laps. He's on the hard tyres. He's got Damo in front of him, Damo on fairly fresh medium. So now as Damo's coming down towards Eau Rouge and Radion, he goes through and he's taking a lot of curve there. He's taking a lot of curve and he's had to come out of the throttle a little bit. So is Apache, but now Apache has the run. He's in the slipstream and he's going past. Excellent driving from both of them there. Damo leaving enough space there for Apache to go around the outside as Apache comes across. Just wants to take the defensive line, but knows it's not going to be too much of a challenge because that inside line is soaking wet and it would be borderline suicide to try to make a move on it. Damo knows that as well. Damo's going to try to slip in behind and just take the stream of Apache and use that to drag him further forward up the race towards Capitan Jinx. So now Apache with clean air ahead of him, 7th place on hard tyres. Old Man Stu 2.5 seconds adrift of Rhodesy now, so that gap's slowly starting to come down. So Old Man Stu can now see Rhodesy up ahead on track. So that gap is coming down even more now, down to 2.1 seconds. Old Man Stu can smell blood and he wants to take the rest of it for himself because he needs every point he can, with Mia Skinner currently sitting 2 places ahead of him. That's a big points difference when it comes to the top of the field. So even though he got that fastest lap in the sprint race to give himself the extra point, every point matters because there was only going to be a couple of point difference between them as it stands, and that is all the difference. But now Mia Skinner 10 seconds ahead of Rhodesy and 5 seconds behind Iron Max, so she might only have a couple of laps left on this tyre, so she's got to really make the most of it while she can, while she's got this clean air ahead. And now that this dry line is really starting to heat up and weather in, we basically now have a dry race unless you leave the racing line. This is unbelievable the way this is heated up, and just over a third of the way through the race and I feel like I've been sweating for hours. So we've got Old Man Stu coming into the pits now, so that obviously that damage to the front is starting to take a little bit of a toll on his race. which now sees Apache move up into 5th place. Damo still sticking within a second of Apache though, so that slipstream really having benefits for Damo now. Damo managing to get himself ahead of Old Man Stu, Capitan Jinx, Chaos Druid, up into 6th place for Damo. That's a very, very good place to be sitting. He's still got a lot of life left in these tyres as well, so a really good position for Damo to be sat in at this stage in the race. Now Rhodes's still doing well around here, still keeping it on track, still putting together decent times, but that rear damage may be starting to take a bit of an effect. Now, it just goes a little bit sideways there, but holds it together very, very well, Rhodes. Now Mia Skinner 12 seconds ahead of Rhodesy, 6 seconds behind Iron Max, so there's not much of a gap ahead and front. But Mia Skinner with this clean air really needs to just take advantage of every corner that she can on the apex, because this track is just getting better and better, and before long I'm sure we'll see drivers on top of each other battling for positions, going all out to gain positions back that the rain stole from them early on in the race. Iron Max as well really making use. Oh, there's a yellow flag, and who's that? It's Grandpa Gary's had a spin. Just coming at the back of the bus stop chicane, but as a result now he manages to keep out the way, no harm doing. Iron Max goes through 11.5 seconds behind Grenster, who at the minute is really putting his mark on this race and is really putting it out there. If anyone wants this, they're gonna have to come and get it, because Grenster has shown everyone what he's about, and he's reminding everyone why he is where he is, and this is the Grenster we're used to seeing. Absolutely flawless from him so far, wonderful. Oh, and Rhodesy, not sure what happened there, just as we flick back, front and rear damage now, and he's facing the wrong way, so he's come back in the pit lane there. I think to do so, he may even have skipped over the pit lane marker, I'm not too sure, but he's going to lose a few positions, because now Apache, his hard tyres have got life left in them as he comes through the bus stop chicane, as he comes across the start-finish line to start the 11th lap of the race in 5th place, but he sets himself in a good pace because all the drivers ahead are going to have to pit before he does, so he might be on pit strategy coming out in 1st place as he now takes 4th place, which means up into 5th place is Damo, and it just goes to show what keeping your nose clean and choosing the right tyres can do for you, because now Damo up into 5th place as he comes down past the pit lane, hurtling down towards Eau Rouge with only 4 drivers ahead of him in this race. What a start it's been for Damo, what a race, what a nice thing to see it is for someone so competitive, someone so committed, and really showing the fruits of the labour when it comes to hard work. And now Damo coming down the Camel Straight in 5th place, 6 seconds ahead of Rhodesy behind him. And yes, I was right, because of the way his car went across and he had to backtrack into the pit lane, that's a 3-second penalty for the crossing the pit lane from Rhodesy, which now that puts him under immense pressure, because Old Man Stu is less than 4 seconds behind him, and less than 2 seconds behind him is Mihai. So come after that penalty is served at 3 seconds, Old Man Stu and Mihai, providing they don't do anything silly on the rest of this lap, will have that position given to them, but it means Chicken Yoga will be milliseconds away from the back of Rhodesy. So that could be a position for him as well. So we could see a lot of position changes based on that one penalty that we see there. Fresh hards for Capitan Jinx as well. Looking there, he's only been out 2 laps on these hard tyres. He's going to be looking long. We've seen that from Capitan Jinx many times before, going long into the race, making tyres last, and then coming out and finishing with a bang. And there we have it. We see Mia Skinner into the pit lane now, taking off those soft tyres. Really did well to make use of them when she did. But now we've got Apache. Apache still, as he comes through now, heading towards Blanchimont. So it looks like Mia Skinner might just get out of the pit ahead of Apache. The longer I watch the pit lane, the slower it takes. Iron Max still 10 seconds away from Grenster, now putting in the fastest first sector time. As we'll see for the way the race goes on, as the track heats up, as it gets drier, as the cars use fuel, the lap times now are just going to get faster and faster, and I don't think it'll be long until we see a sub 220. So yeah, just coming out. So Apache, oh, Mia Skinner has got out just ahead of Apache, but the closing speed is going to be a lot different. So Apache now right in the slipstream of Mia Skinner, managing to get out just ahead. But now Apache knows Mia Skinner on the medium tyres, on the better tyre than what Apache is, but they are fresh. Apache's had a good few laps to get these hard tyres warmed up and into the perfect operating window. So now that Mia Skinner's going flying down the Kemmel Straight, Apache's going to know that his moment is coming up soon. And Mia Skinner's going to know that she's got one of the most aggressive, one of the most competent, skillful overtakers on the grid behind her. And it's going to be a wonderful thing to see her try to keep him behind. But it's less than half a second now. So looking at this, and as they come up, Grandpa Gary in front will be getting the blue flags now. Grandpa Gary doing very well, doesn't want to do anything unpredictable, holding his position well, everything he needs to be done here, Grandpa Gary, and now he's off the racing line. That is wonderful driving. This is FTWRC. So as coming down now, Grandpa Gary backing out at the perfect time for the inside line, giving Apache the opportunity to scoop back in right behind Mia Skinner. And as a result now, Grandpa Gary losing very little time of his own, and he now has the joy of watching this battle up ahead. What an unbelievable few corners that was. And Grandpa Gary's now going to be trying to take absolutely max advantage, take advantage of the double slipstream that he may now be getting from Mia and Apache in third and fourth place. Unbelievable. But now Apache less than 4/10, sticking right behind as Apache sets his fastest sector time across that middle sector, and he's in the slipstream of Mia Skinner as they come through towards Blanchimont. As you see as well, the sky clearing up as well, so it's only going to get hotter, it's only going to get nicer. This track is really developing as Mia Skinner goes, takes a good line, positions the car very well there to not allow Apache any room to go down the inside or the outside. But now she's a bit of a sitting duck going down towards Eau Rouge, because come through the top of Eau Rouge and Raidillon, you're going to have the Kemmel Straight. And it's going to be interesting to see the way this plays out. Is Mia Skinner going to defend early, or is she just going to allow Apache the space and then work on getting it back later on in the lap? And it looks like Mia's holding that line, and Apache's right up behind. And Apache pulling out. Apache's gone down the inside, and what a move that is from Apache on the inside. Mia gives him the space, and he's gone through. Unbelievable driving from Apache. Very sensible from Mia as well, not to dive across and cause any problems. But now Mia sits in the slipstream of Apache, who was very defensive down. And Mia looking down the inside, no, thinks better of it, but just making Apache think as well. So now Apache knows he's got a very aggressive driver in return, and Mia Skinner's going to be one forcing issues, forcing mistakes from Apache. But he's been here before. He's not his first rodeo. And as he comes down, centers his car in the track, not going too defensively, but making sure there's not enough space for a move on the inside, which would be a very risky place to go as you go around Pouillon. Both using as much of the track as they can, and now these tyres are really fired up, and the medium tyres of Mia Skinner are in a perfect operating window now, and Apache, he's getting the most out of these hard tyres, and he's got life in them yet to go. So this battle will continue between the two, but then just behind there we'll see Damo now in fifth. His medium tyres doing him well, but he has got roads. He's slowly closing the gap behind him now, also on the medium tyres. But one saving grace for Damo having this fast driver coming up behind is that behind Rhodesy is Old Man Stu. And Old Man Stu's on the medium tyres as well, at a similar age to Rhodesy's. So Rhodesy's going to have eyes in the back of his head, because Old Man Stu is going to be wanting that position, and he's going to be wanting every other position ahead of it as well. So if he can start putting pressure on Rhodesy and make a mistake, not only could that benefit himself, it could all fall into the hands of Damo, sitting in fifth place right now, very well, and I would love to see this continue. But the drivers behind are unbelievably quick, because behind Rhodesy will have pressure from Old Man Stu, and if Old Man Stu makes one mistake, less than 3 seconds behind him is Mihai. Unbelievable competitors, and the driver behind Mihai is Capitan Chinks. So if you think going past one person it gets easier, if anything it gets harder. But now Damo taking the opportunity wisely, not getting drawn into those battles, knowing where his races are to be won. He's going in to get some fresh tyres on, because those mediums aren't looking too good, and as a result now, Mihai goes through 7th place, Old Man Stu in 6th, who is now less than 2 seconds behind Rhodesy. So Rhodesy does have clean air ahead. There's 10 seconds between Rhodesy and Mia Skinner, but less than 2 seconds between himself and Old Man Stu as we reach the halfway point of this race. Oh, Mia Skinner making a move, oh, going on the outside, but Apache defends the inside line very, very well, just as we ride on board there. We see that happening, and Apache holds that position. Mia Skinner testing the waters there to see what can be done, making Apache think about it. Apache holds the position, but now Mia Skinner really up close, really making use of those tyres advantage. The medium tyres are fairly soft are now going to start working a little bit better than the hard tyres of Apache, but Apache is more than capable of making those tyres do what he needs them to do. And then, unbelievably, as we look forward, 54 seconds ahead of Apache in second place right now is Iron Max in his second FTWRC show. Did very, very well last week, scoring 27 points across the 2 races, and now in second place, and he is second to the old guard, to the surgeon, to the absolute precision master Grenster, who is now 8.888 seconds clear in the lead of the race. He's still got life in those medium tyres now, but I would imagine, knowing Grenster, he'll be pushing them to the max. He's only going to be wanting to pit once more, and if that's another long stretch on the mediums, or whether it's the hard tyres, we'll be yet to see. But Grenster won't want to be in the pit lane any longer than he needs to. And looking back now again, so we're back on board with Apache, looking backwards off the bumper, as we see the sun now shining off the windscreen of Mia Skinner. The sun is out, the track is drying, and this is a race. So now coming down towards the source, over the start finish line, currently got Rhodesy with the fastest lap of a 2:20.6, cutting close to that sub 2:20. Mia Skinner right on the tail of Apache as Apache comes round the source, gets the power down early, but Mia Skinner does as well. And on those medium tyres, Mia Skinner's got to be feeling confident here. She's got to be feeling full of herself, knowing that come over the top of all roofs, not only will she have the slipstream in the run, but she's got the tyre advantage as well. What can Apache do to prevent this from happening, if anything? Because the gap now is a 1/10 of a second. As they come up to the Kemmel Straight, Apache on the inside line, very defensive. He's coming across and giving a squeeze, as he's entitled to do, but Mia Skinner looks like she's got the move made. And yes, and comes across and defends the inside line. Excellent move from Mia Skinner with the fastest sector. She's got a little bit deep there, but covers the place well. And now Apache's really trying to battle to get past, but she's got the inside line. And Apache backs out of that and gives the inside line. And she makes it stick. Mia Skinner up in the 3rd place, Apache in 4th. And what a combination of moves we've just seen from this pair here. And now, as it goes through the hairpin, Mia Skinner keeping a very tight line, not wanting to give an inch to Apache from behind. As comes through No Name, just easing off, getting on the power early in 2nd gear, and Apache behind now really has to make this work because Mia Skinner's on fresher tyres and they are softer compound as well. So Apache knows that if Mia Skinner keeps this pace up, those tyres are not going to last to the rest of the race. Oh, Rhodesy dropped out. Aren't going to last the end of the race. Whereas if Apache can force a mistake, he might not have to waste too much of his tyres in getting back past. But the longer these two battle and the more it slows down, it all falls into the hands of Old Man Stu, who is now less than 10 seconds away from that battle ahead between Apache and Mia Skinner. So if this battle continues, then Old Man Stu now stands to gain a lot from this, because he now has a 5-second gap between himself and Mihai. So he's in the clean air. So now Mia Skinner 3rd place, Apache in 4th. Mia Skinner just starting to get away, got half a second in. Apache really pushed it. Now he's going to be wanting to use the slipstream on every opportunity as he can as they come into the bus stop. So now the gap now, Old Man Stu to Apache less than 9 seconds. So Apache on the medium tyres, really getting his head down. Old Man Stu really making him work, really trying to gain that time. But as you see, as they come, now they've come round La Source, down towards Eau Rouge. This is where you see Apache and Mia Skinner start to pull away a little bit, using the slipstream of each other. Go through Eau Rouge here, looking back, we can see the front bumper of Apache closing right in. And again, once on the Kemmel Straight, driver in front sometimes can be a bit of a sitting duck, but not so much in this situation because there's just half a second gap. So it's a long way back for anyone to think about an attacking move. So I'm not sure if Miaskin will need to go too defensive, because Apache's not going to take a risk like that. He's just going to follow through as they come through Lacombe, and then coming round. And this is where it all matters. These tight sections here are where Mia's tyres need to come in clutch. It needs to make the most of having the softer compound on this section of the track with the tight turns. And now the gap 7/10 now. So Mia really trying to pull away from Apache. Apache doing a very good job of keeping it within distance of Mia Skinner and not allowing her that chance to take her eye off the mirrors and focus on going ahead. All the while managing to keep a 10-second gap between himself and Old Man Stu behind us. Apache using every inch of the track. They're going very wide, but keeping it within the line as he hurtles forward. But now the gap between himself and Mia Skinner almost at that 1 second. So almost at the point now on the straight that Apache won't be picking up the slipstream from Mia Skinner if this gap gets any bigger. So now we have Grenster in the pits now coming in to change those medium tyres, and that puts Iron Max into the first place position. Iron Max takes first place around Spa-Francorchamps on lap 17 on round 6 of the FTWRC. Iron Max in first place. He doesn't have a lot of life left in those tyres. So what he's going to be doing is making the most of this lap or two on these tyres and trying to get back out. So now we've got Grenster come out of the pits, but as a testament to the way that Grenster and Iron Max are driving, Grenster comes out of the pits 1 minute ahead of Mia Skinner. I'm sure that will change as it goes through when it adjusts, but no, I think it actually is an entire minute ahead. And Iron Max and Grenster shown around this track tonight that they are just in another league right now. So the gap now 40 seconds from Grenster to Mia Skinner. Mia Skinner has now extended the gap between herself and Apache to just over a second. So if Mia Skinner can get a good exit out of here, get through a rouge smoothly, Apache won't have that slipstream benefit come the Kemmel straight. Now Old Man Stu into the pits, that gives Mihai the chance to slide through to the 5th position. He's coming up now behind Grant Park Gary, so I'm sure he's going to be wanting to use all that slipstream from Grant Park Gary before they get all the way up to the top. Even though those blue lights, the blue flags are waving, he's going to be wanting to use Grant Park Gary's slipstream as much as he can. Right, now looking a little bit further back, still got a bit of a battle going on back here. I've got Eddie Catlap 7/10 ahead of Chicken Yoga, who's putting the pressure on now. Chicken Yoga on very fresh soft tyres. Eddie on fairly worn medium, so this is an opportunity now for Chicken Yoga to catch the back of Eddie Catlap and make some moves. We can see Scooby just ahead. Scooby had a little bit of front bumper damage, so he may be looking a bit, but now look at Chicken Yoga in the mirrors. Chicken Yoga's really starting to get right up behind Eddie Catlap. Not advisable, but if you can get past quick enough, you're in for a good one. So looking back, the traction that Yoga's going to get out of this is surely going to be phenomenal on those soft tyres, or is he just going to be waiting for an opportunity to take the position on the Kemmel straight without having to make any fancy moves, just breeze past as we see now. Iron Max does come into the pits now for his stop. He will come out well ahead of Mia Skinner still. He is a massive amount ahead of all of them, doing very, very well. But Eddie Catlap we will stay on board with now. So you can see Chicken Yoga 4/10 behind as they come up through Eau Rouge in Radion. Eddie Catlap taking a good line through there, never lifting once. And he's just going to keep this in 5th and just let that engine squeal all the way like a cat in a bag. Plenty gap, and he's managed to actually pull out a little bit of a gap between himself and Chicken Yoga, despite the tyre difference. Very well played, Eddie Catlap. 26 seconds between himself and Damo ahead of him. Damo's doing well. He's on the medium tyres now. He's got a fastest lap with 2:23, which is an excellent time. 26 seconds ahead of Eddie Catlap, 13 seconds adrift of Old Man Stu. So 9th place for Damo at the minute. Still running well, doing very strong. 10 laps left to go in this race. And now as we go forward, look at this. Out lap, Chaos Druid right in front now. Old Man Stu, bumper to bumper. Old Man Stu, fairly fresh tyres. Right up behind, as we see, Chaos Druid, tyres are quite worn, and that petrol light looks like it's flashing, but we've got Old Man Stu sitting right in the slipstream. So as they come up to the bus stop chicane, the final, whoa, Chaos Druid's gone deep, and that means, and he's staying out for another lap. Chaos is staying out, but it means Old Man Stu now up to 7th position, with Mihai in the pits, so Capitan Jinx goes up to 5th, but you can see Apache just come out ahead there, so Apache now 4th place, 29 seconds behind Mia Skinner. Apache's come out on the medium tyres, so that will be his last stop of the race. Capitan Jinx on the hard tyres. He could be looking to extend this all the way to the end of the race. And he is right up. Oh, he'll get a half a second for that, I think. But he's now right in the slipstream of Apache as well, so Apache is not going to be plain sailing from him all the way. Now, Old Man Stew. Nearly a second and a half gap between himself and Chaos Druid now. So now he comes onto the Kemmel Straight. He's got fresh tyres. He's refueled. He doesn't have to stop again. This is just a heads down moment for Old Man Stew to see how many places he can snag come the end of this race. His fastest lap is only 4/10 slower than the fastest of the whole race overall. Capitan Jinx 7 seconds ahead of him, but like I said, that gap could come down because he's half a second behind Apache, and Apache's going to be wanting to make waves. Apache's going to be wanting to climb his way right back up to the bumper of Mia Skinner, who's 30 seconds ahead now, but Capitan Jinx is not just going to let him run away with it if he hasn't got to. But looking up at the front now as well, Iron Max Grenster 7 seconds ahead of Iron Max. So that gap actually between the two come down a lot. So the pair of them 26 seconds ahead of Mia Skinner, but only 7 seconds difference between the two. Both fresh tyres, Iron Max on the mediums, Grenstar on the hard. We could be looking at a last lap showdown, depending on tyre wear and the way that these two drivers navigate the track and the back markers they're coming up to. We could be seeing an absolute showdown come the end of the race, and Iron Max might have drawn himself back up the Grenstar with his strategy, and if so, this would be a phenomenal achievement for Iron Max. So as the rest of the field, as you can see, just starting to spread out a little bit now. Each driver getting a little bit more comfortable, apart from Demo, because I've just realised he's got Mihai all over the back of him on fresh medium tyres on his outlap, looking around the outside. They go through Blanchimont, and Mihai's going to get that position, but Demo's fighting it all the way. And is Demo going to keep it? Demo's just let him have it there. Mihai on the fresh rubber, always going to have that slight advantage on the inside and going around the outside. So it's great driving from Demo, just to not put up too much resistance and knowing that there's a battle there to be fought later in the day. As he comes around now, still in 9th position, doing very well, just behind Mihai. Now Chaos Druid in the pit, so that means Demo and Mihai are going to go through position. So that's Demo 8th position now for Demo. So Eddie Catflap now, the leader is right up on the tail of Eddie Catflap now, who'll be getting the blue flags. And when he sees blue flags, Eddie waves brown flags. So as you see, look, this is it. Grenstar just making the most of this slipstream, getting every single metre of it as he can, holding his nose the whole way, it must be said. As they come around Blanchimont, as they're coming in, so then we're just going to see now with these blue flags, Eddie just going to come around here, make it nice and easy, and then we'll find that Grenstar just pull away onto this final part, onto the straight. Lovely, great driving there from Eddie Catflap, not wasting any of his own time, allowing the faster drivers through. But no sooner is that being said than Iron Max behind now as well, so he's going to be getting blue flags again shortly, but he's going to be able to use the slipstream of Grenstar to try to gain as much time for himself as he can and really use that all the way down the Kemmel Straight. As we see in the background of those two, Iron Max, and there he is. It's only 4.4 seconds is the gap now. Iron Max is already starting to close this gap on Grenstar, and there's still 7 laps left. So Grenstar really needs to get the back markers out of the way. He does have a large section of track now, which no back markers will be getting in his way. So he will have clean air all of the way. But that also means the only back marker in Eddie is Eddie Catflap for Iron Max. So that's not going to slow him down either. So it really, really is now a battle. It's a sprint to the finish that you wouldn't see when you first look at it. 7 laps, and he's already taken 3 seconds out of Grenstar's time. What an unbelievable performance this is from Iron Max. And then Mia Skinner as well, 25 seconds ahead still of Apache. So that gap has come down a little bit, but not quite enough. Try to do maths in my head, doesn't work. It takes a certain amount of time in the pit lane, and however much that time is, Mia still has to make another pit. There's no way those medium tyres could possibly last another 7 laps the way that they are. But it's all about timing now, because the gap between the two is very close. So I think that Apache may get the jump on a pit stop as it stands right now. But then that means Mia Skinner will be coming out on the freshest of the fresh tyres. So if she's only a few seconds behind Apache when she comes out of the pit, it's not going to be impossible to close that gap up on the fresher tyres. Apache is on the mediums as it stands, and he is lapping very well. Half a second penalty for Captain Jinx, not sure what that was, but that means Old Man Stew only 1.3, 1.4 seconds behind Captain Jinx. Once that penalty is served, that's going to give Old Man Stew a chance to rein in that distance and hopefully get another position for himself there, because again, with Mia Skinner currently sitting in third place, if Apache was to get the jump on her in the pits, and if Old Man Stew gets the jump on Capitan Jinx because of this penalty, yet again, we will see neck and neck, bumper to bumper, Mia Skinner and Old Man Stew racing head to head in the final lap of the race. And it's not something I would be particularly surprised to see. In fact, it's something I've come to expect. And it looks like that'll be the case, because Old Man Stew is half a second behind Capitan Jinx now. Capitan Jinx on worn hard tyres as well. So we'll see there, Capitan Jinx just letting Old Man Stew through. No point slowing him down when he's on a different strategy, when he's got a penalty to be served. But now that means, so now Mia Skinner's in the pits, and this is where it really counts. Because as Old Man Stew's coming round there, as he's coming round the long straight, round Blanchimont towards the final chicane, Mia Skinner is in the pits now, and Apache is now coming round the bus stop chicane. So this is going to be absolute touch and go, the way that these come out here. So as Apache goes through past the pit lane, that puts Apache up into third place. So Mia Skinner's now in the pit box. The tyres are getting changed. So where is Apache going to come out in relation to Old Man Stew? So the tyres are down. So now, so Old Man Stew is going to come round the source. Old Man Stew is going to come round the source. Less than 10 seconds behind Mia Skinner. Medium tyres. Mia Skinner's on the soft tyres. So she's got 7 laps on soft tyres. So they will start to degrade by the end of it. But that's 6 seconds between Old Man Stew and Mia Skinner as they now enter the 21st lap. As he comes through, now we're looking at Old Man Stew coming up Eau Rouge over Radion, and he's less than 6 seconds now is the gap between himself and Mia Skinner. And this is really setting up to be an absolute thunderstorm of a finish. And then looking forward now, Iron Max is only 2.5 seconds behind Grenster, so Iron Max could potentially get this done before the end of the race. This could be an absolutely unbelievable performance. But then, so Mia Skinner now 5 seconds ahead of Old Man Stew, but Mia Skinner is only 5 seconds behind Apache. So that means, in effect, Old Man Stew is only 10 seconds off a podium position right now, and his tyres are looking good. Mia Skinner's on the fresh soft, Apache's on the mediums. Everyone's tyres are taking them to the end, and this is now just a shootout for the line, and it could be anywhere at the top. But now we're going to go on board with Iron Max on his chase of Grenster, who we can see just ahead as they go into La Source. Coming round, Iron Max now with the fastest lap time of the race with a 2:18.5. Unbelievable time, especially on medium tyres, as they come hurtling now down towards Eau Rouge. It's 1.3 seconds is the gap between Grenster and Iron Max, and what an unbelievable performance this has been. And still is. There's still 5 laps left. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Calm down, guys. So now on the Kemmel Straight, this is 1.1. So there's only a second in it at the top now. Apache, the gap between himself and Mia Skinner has come down from 5 to 4.6. So Mia Skinner's making these soft tyres really, really work, because she's closing the gap on Apache. She is slowly closing that gap on Apache, but that does mean she's slowly starting to extend the gap between herself and Old Man Stew. But Mia wants to be careful, because these soft tyres don't last forever. And if she starts wearing them out too early, in 3 or 4 laps time, Old Man Stew's tyres are still going to be treating him well, and that's going to come in clutch. So Mia wants to be pushing, but not too much. Half a second! Oh, I've nearly lost it. Half a second is the gap between Iron Max and Grenster now at the front as they come through Pouillon. And I can't believe what I'm seeing. Iron Max now right in the slipstream of Grenster, giving it a little bit of a, making sure Grenster knows what's going on. Grenster's been here before, he's done this time and time again. He's not going to allow himself to be pressured into a mistake, but he's also going to be very aware that Iron Max is there he's there to take the position if and when they arise. And looking back now from the rear bumper of Grenster, we can see just how close Iron Max really is as they come down the back section of this track now. As they go around the long left-hand around Blanchimont, we'll really see how close they get. And this is unbelievable. What an unbelievable final 5 laps we have ahead of us after an unbelievable race of the night so far. The sprint race, the qualifying sessions, the main race, and for it to come down to this is absolutely sensational. As they come through the bus stop chicane, Iron Max having a little bit of a wobble, but he still managed to keep it within a second now. So he's 6 tenths behind as they go down towards La Source. Iron Max alongside Grenstar on the Kemmel Straight. He's going round. He's got the outside line. Grenstar's going to defend on the inside. Iron Max is ahead, and he's breaking late, and he's got the position. Iron Max goes into the lead of the race. He's gone deep, but he's held it together well. But now Grenstar's going to stick behind him as tight as he can through Lecombs. And as they come round down towards the hairpin, Iron Max now has the lead of this race. He has got 2 tenths between himself and Grenstar, and they now have 5 laps to battle it out. This is unbelievable. They've got no pressure from behind. 56 seconds is the gap to Apache, so they've just got each other to focus on, and they both almost go sideways around No Name as they go through there, pushing every single inch of the track to its absolute limits. What an unbelievable performance, and what a move that was from Iron Max. And now Grenstar's just got to do what he can to sit in behind and not let this gap form, because he needs that slipstream as they come through these later sections in the track, especially coming towards the Kemmel, because it's an easy way to lose a couple of tenths if you haven't got that slipstream. Now Mia Skinner, 5.5 seconds. Old Man Stew's had to pit again, but he's come out on the soft, so it looks like Old Man Stew is going to be wanting to try to pick off a few positions if he can. He's got Capitan Jinx ahead of him, also on the soft tyres, had a few more laps on them. We've got Mihai ahead of him, 2 and a bit seconds ahead of Capitan Jinx on the medium tyres as well, but we've got Mia Skinner still looking after those softs very well, and that 5-second gap is not getting any bigger between her and Apache. She's holding on to that very well. But Iron Max now 6 tenths ahead of Grenstar, so coming in, there's still nothing between them as they come through the bus stop chicane, come through the final corner, ready to start the 24th lap of the race as they cross the start-finish line. It's Iron Max in first place, it's Grenstar in second, and we have a battle on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, but just coming out of the pit lane, we have Damo, and it's that Chaos Druid as well. So now Iron Max is in ahead, so he's getting through here clean, and it looks like, actually, the way that it's fall out, it doesn't look like Grenstar's had to lift either. Damo moving across to the left, but Grenstar wants as much of the slipstream as he can have, so Grenstar's going to sit in behind as much as he can. And Damo's going to stay on that inside, and he's just going to allow them through. Great driving again, great awareness by Damo. So now Chaos Druid using that slipstream from Iron Max to pull him through. So now we're going to see what we want to see is Damo sitting behind Grenstar and try to get pulled along, but Grenstar's now going to be dealing with the dirty air of 2 cars in front of him. So as they come down towards the hairpin, he's going to sit in behind. Iron Max is going to be thanking his lucky stars, and he's going to be hoping that he can use this as a way of getting a little bit of an extra gap ahead, knowing that Grenstar's now in the dirty air of Chaos Druid as Chaos Druid comes through. So now the blue flags are waving, so it's going to be a difficult place to let them pass coming into a fast corner like this, coming round Pouillon. But now Grenstar is now over a second behind Iron Max because of that, and it's nobody's fault. It was just very unfortunate that 2 cars came out of the pit lane as they both came round La Source. The gap between Mia Skinner and Apache increased just very slightly there, so now it's just over 6 seconds is the gap. So Apache at the moment looking fairly comfortable in third place. Don't want to curse him like a commentator all the way he does, but Mia Skinner looking good, looking after the tyres, so she's not having any problems coming towards the end. Actually, still a lot of life left in those tyres considering how long she's been out. But Capitan Jinx now coming through Eau Rouge and Radion has got Mihai all over the back of Capitan Jinx. So now looking at it, both on fairly fresh tyres. And then, oh, Mihai's gone down the inside, and he's got Capitan Jinx at the outside. He's giving the space as they come in. Two Les comes as they come in, and then Mihai's got the position done. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he parked his car perfectly on the apex there to keep that position. So now he has Mihai, but just behind Mihai, Capitan Jinx, but only half a second behind Capitan Jinx is Old Man Stu, and he can see the drivers in front side by side as Capitan Jinx cuts back across. Capitan Jinx has gone a little bit wide. Can Old Man Stu make this move down the inside down? He's on fresh soft tyres, and yes he can. He's right up behind Mihai now as they come through No Name, but he still has Capitan Jinx on his inside, and he's not giving up this position at all, and they're squeezing each other. Mihai coming back across to the outside line to make the corner as wide as he can. Old Man Stu's going to have to give Capitan Jinx that space on the inside, and he does it very well without losing time. And now Old Man Stu's in the slipstream of the two drivers ahead, and what a battle has been forming here. This is unbelievable from start to finish. Mihai going defensive there on the inside. Capitan Jinx having to slam the brakes on there just to make sure that he left the space. But it looks like Old Man Stu's looking down the inside. No way! And Old Man Stu's gone for that move on the inside. Capitan Jinx has had to move across. He's done unbelievably well to hold it together there, having to go wide. But now Old Man Stu side by side with Mihai. So Capitan Jinx is going to sit in behind, and he's just going to wait for an opportunity to strike here because he's on the soft tyres. Old Man Stu's tyres are also fresh, are also soft, but Mihai's on the medium. Mihai coming across now, defending the inside line. There is an absolute battle forming ahead, as we can see now. Old Man Stu going around the outside, the bus stop chicane, and he's got the move done. He's held it together. Old Man Stu has gained two positions in half a lap. Old Man Stu now in the 5th place, 1 place behind Mia Skinner. You couldn't ride it, man. Iron Max at the front, nearly 3 seconds of gap now, so Iron Max really showing a level of maturity there, just getting himself out of the lead. Now it's head down. He knows he's got 2 more laps after this one to get this race in the bag and to claim his first FTWRC victory in only his 2nd week. Unbelievable performance, and Grenster doing unbelievable as well, matching every step of the way, and it just come down to right at the end there. That strategy call, and Iron Max really had that one worked out. What an unbelievable performance, but it's not over yet. There is still 2 laps of this race to go. And looking back now, Old Man Stu's managed to put a second between himself and Mihai and Capitan Jinx behind him. But now Mihai has to deal with Capitan Jinx, who's right in the mirrors. Now, Capitan Jinx is on the softer tyre, but they are starting the way, so he's going to have to make as much as he can. He needs to get this move done as soon as he can, because any longer sitting behind Mihai, he's not going to have the advantage anymore, because Mihai is on the mediums and he's got more life in them. So even though there's 2 laps left, these soft tyres don't have a lot of life left in them, so Capitan Jinx needs to really make something happen here. Oh, Capitan Jinx had a little moment there, just showing that those tyres are starting to fall a little bit. Mihai defending the inside line as we come round. Capitan Jinx looking around the outside. My heart was in my mouth for a minute there as they come round now. So they're getting on the back section of the straight. They can see Old Man Stu just ahead there, starting to break up a gap. Excellent pit strategy from Old Man Stu to dive in, to get them softs on, to gain a few positions back, and as a result is now 1 position behind his title rival, Mia Skinner. Unbelievable. So now Apache has extended that gap, so Apache nearly 10 seconds ahead of Mia Skinner now, as he comes up through Eau Rouge and Radion onto the Kemmel Straight for the penultimate time. And Iron Max now, not content with just sitting with this lead, he's extending the gap out at the front. 3.5 seconds now is the gap, and he's got 1.5 laps left to bring this home and to take the first victory of his FTWRC career. And what a victory it will be. But Grenster's not going to give up, because he knows it's only going to take 1 mistake from Iron Max and that gold medal spot back in his hands. So now looking, well, as we go back, Mihai, on board with Mihai looking back as he goes onto the Kemmel Straight. You can see Capitan Jinx only half a second behind there, so Capitan Jinx really holding on to this position here, really wanting to get something out of it. And then got Chaos Druid and Demo Damo only a second behind Chaos Druid now, both on the soft tyres, and that's a last lap shootout if there ever was one. 1 second between Chaos Druid and Damo, both on soft tyres, both with plenty of life to live, so they've only got 1 lap to make as much of this as they can, and Damo's going to be seeing that up in front. The Chaos Druid is in the slipstream of Grenster, so he is going to be getting pulled along just that little bit, but it also means through the corners the Chaos Druid's going to be in the dirty air of Grenster. So Damo needs to keep his head on his shoulders, keep a bit of maturity and to focus on what he's got to do, because this could come in clutch for him, and the dirty air of Grenster could give Damo 8th place in this race as it stands. But now 4 seconds in the lead as he just goes round Le Cornze is Iron Max on his final lap of the race, and he's used those tyres to perfection. There is only a few decent laps left in these tyres now, and he's got every single millimetre of rubber that he could out of these tyres. This is an unbelievable performance. But Grenster, you could say the same. He's put the right tyres on, and the only difference is Mia Skinner's having to come into the pits. Mia Skinner's having to come into the pits 24 seconds ahead of Old Man Stu. That gap's going to disappear. Oh my word, that gap's going to disappear for the final lap. Old Man Stu's now coming up towards the bus stop chicane. Old Man Stu's coming towards the bus stop chicane. Mia Skinner hasn't entered the pit box yet. Oh, no way. As Old Man Stu crosses the start-finish line for his final lap of the race, Mia Skinner is only just having the tyres changed now. So Old Man Stu is about to round. So Mia Skinner now coming out of the pits, and she'll just see, oh, Old Man Stu just ahead of her. Old Man's just come out of the pits, and Old Man Stu's 2.5 seconds ahead of Mia Skinner on the final lap of the race. Oh my word. So we've got a 4-second gap at the front. So look in here, we've got Iron Max flying round Blanchimont, approaching the final chicane for the final time. As we can see, Grenster close up behind, only 4 seconds. But as he comes round, Iron Max comes across the line for the win to take his first FTWRC victory with the fastest lap as it stands. Grenster crosses the line in second place, an excellent performance from him. Chaos Druid crossing the line after him, which means that Damo will keep the 9th position, a great finish from him. But now look, we've got Apache. There is a 37-second gap, but Old Man Stu 3 seconds ahead of Mia Skinner, but Old Man Stu's tyres aren't in the best shape. Mia Skinner's got the freshest soft tyres you can get. So this could be an absolute battle. That 3-second gap, less than 3 seconds now, 2.8. I don't think there's going to be enough time to close that gap across this lap unless there's a mistake from Old Man Stu. But what a battle. And who would have thought when it came down to it, these two would be this close? Oh my word. Oh, I will say, and that's 2.5 seconds, so there's a half a second gone already. Apache crosses the line, 3rd place. So Apache's not out of this. He's still up at the top of the leaderboards, still holding position. 3rd place for Apache, a good drive for him. But now, as we see, coming around Blanchimont, yes, there's 2.5 seconds is the gap. So as it stands, it looks like Old Man Stu's going to be taking 4th place, and Mia Skinner missing out on that spot by 2.5 seconds. If only those tyres had 1 lap more life left in them, we could be singing a different song. But as it stands, coming around the bus stop chicane, taking 4th position in the race at Spa, crosses the line, and it's Old Man Stu, lights are flashing, we've seen it before, and then Mia Skinner weaving across the line, an excellent performance, followed by Mihai in 6th place, flashing the lights again. And as we see now, Capitan Jinx approaching the final, flashing them lights. We love to see it. Capitan Jinx, an ever-present competitor, just drifting his way around the final chicane to come home across the line in 7th place with not 1 shred of rubber left on those tyres. What an unbelievable race we have just witnessed, from start of qualifying in the sprint race to the end of the race finale. That is one of the best races I've ever been a part of, and it's all thanks to you guys. Absolutely unbelievable performance from everyone involved, and I honestly, I can't believe that, to start in the conditions that it was, for the race to develop the way that it did. Very unfortunate that we had a couple of people disconnect. I think we know Scotty had a problem as he came up over Eau Rouge. and he lost the connection. And I think as well with Rhodesy, who was doing very, very well the way that they were. But look at that. Iron Max taking the victory and the fastest lap. Unbelievable performance, and did it so well considering that Grenster had such a good performance as well. You see there's less than 5 seconds between them, but then there's nearly a minute down to the rest of the field. An unbelievable performance. Apache again in a world of his own, really. 50 seconds behind second place, 40 seconds ahead of fourth. Just had to bring that home. Another excellent performance all the way down the grid as well. Damo having an unbelievable race. Very good drive from him. Eddie Carflap not doing too badly considering he's Eddie Carflap. And then Scooby as well. Scooby a bit unfortunate with the spin and the damage, doing very well in qualifying. But overall, what an unbelievable night it has been. And I just want to thank everyone watching and everyone involved and everyone taking part in this race. And thank you very much, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday.